Brought to you by BMW Fairfield.
Well, here we are on a Monday. It is great to have you here. Thanks so much for stopping by. Larry Krueger in for Ray Ratto again today here on 95.7 The Game. I've been told Ray is coming back this week, but not today. And since you and I did an awful lot of talking up to Atlanta, it's probably appropriate, Larry, that we do the post-mortem on this, because I remember somebody texting in saying you guys are making way too much out of the Atlanta Falcons. There's just no way the 49ers go in there and lose to this team. Like, they can't be that dominant on the line of scrimmage. Their running game really isn't nearly as good as you guys are hyping it up to be. Any more questions?
Yeah.
Any more questions? When we tell you, you could better put this game on red alert, we ain't fooling around. And I'm just going to tell you right now, Kyle's offense gets shut out in the second half. And Larry, I think his tight nature of being a head coach did more to get Atlanta that win than it did the 49ers. We could spend the next 3 hours going over a 16-play, 80-yard, 8-minute drive when you were down 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. What the hell was that?
I know. I mean, seriously, when they called, there was a play in this game that I'm sitting there watching the game on the couch with my kids, and I'm sitting there going, what are they doing? It was the 2nd and 10 play on their own 46-yard line. They're down 2 scores. They took over the ball with like 10 minutes left. It's right around like 5.5 minutes left. They've already wasted all this time. They've moved from the 1 to roughly midfield, and they're running Tevin Coleman. What are you doing running Tevin Coleman down 2 scores? Where is the urgency? Where is your hurry up? Where is the no huddle? They huddled 13 times on the final 16 plays of that drive. I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. You know, it's one thing to get outcoached and get outplayed, and they were both. They got outcoached and outplayed. But where's your competitive fire? I mean, I got to seriously question the competitive fire of everybody associated with calling a 2nd and 10 run play down 2 touchdowns. What are you doing? I mean, you might as well have just said, you know what? We don't want to win. We just want to get close. You're the team that has Super Bowl aspirations. You're the team with the incredible array of offensive weapons. The Niners offensively. Defensively, they had excuses. Offensively, they had none. And to come out the way they played against the Atlanta Falcons, who are 27th in the NFL in defensive DVOA, absolutely inexcusable. It's the low point of the regime right now.
Right now, low point. How do you run the ball there?
That's the most non-competitive crap I've ever seen. I mean, that was just so not competitive, so overwhelmingly stupid. And to huddle up 13 times on 16 plays on a drive where you're down 2 scores, why? I need to know the answer why. Why are you huddling up that many times? Where's your hurry-up offense? Can you not hurry up? You don't have a rookie quarterback. You've got a veteran quarterback.
Did no one press Kyle Shanahan on this? Did no one come into his kitchen and ask what the hell that fourth quarter was? Because he was coaching scared. On a day where Garoppolo was putting the ball where he needed to put it. I mean, that was actually, including the 2 interceptions, it was a damn good day for Jimmy. He put the ball where it needed to be on a lot of plays. What, the Charlie Warner drop was terrible.
Why are you taking shots downfield to your backup blocking tight end?
Ray McLeod drop was rough. Where's Debo? Where's Ayuk on these
Where's
big
Danny
plays?
Gray?
Where is Danny Gray? Danny Gray would be better off still in college, making name, image, and likeness money and running him up draft boards with a good year in college than being just wasted by the 49ers. Did he dress?
He was inactive.
Was inactive yesterday. How's the hip?
They can't even get their one speed receiver on the field active and hook up with him. They did it in the preseason, haven't been able to do it in the regular season. They have no speed. They have which of their backs scares you as far as speed? And the other absolutely criminal call was 3rd and 1 on that fateful 16-play drive. They're 3rd and 1 from the 48-yard line, and you're going halfback toss to a running back who's now catching it 3 yards in the backfield.
Right. Who wasn't even in the NFL 3 weeks ago.
Right. And you could have gone quarterback sneak with one of the best quarterback sneakers there is.
Isn't that where Jeff Wilson is his most valuable bruising forward plotting back? What are you doing with Tevin Coleman there?
Where's the creativity? How about line up Kyle Juszczyk out of the Wildcat and put Aaron Banks or somebody in the backfield and just push him? It's 3rd and 1, and if you don't get the first, it's game over. Instead, it went to 4th and 2, and that set up the Garoppolo pass to Debo where, it was behind him. It was a little low. It was incomplete, and there was your ball game. But, I mean, my goodness. To me, the play calls were bad, but how do you not have a hurry-up? How do you not have a hurry-up offense? About halfway through that 16-play drive, every Niner fan knew they were done. They may have scored a touchdown on that drive, but how long it took them, they were done. There was no chance. They were going to have to stop the Falcons immediately, force absolute 3 and out, use their timeouts, and everything. It was going to have to go absolutely perfectly for them at the end. So just how slow they moved,
time. And here's
eliminated their chance to win.
And look, someone did ask Kyle, why wasn't there more urgency in that fourth quarter? I mean, here it is. You're down 2 touchdowns. You're on your 2-yard line. And they spend about 4.5 minutes, and now they're at the 25 because of all the play clock that got killed. The one really nice pass that Jimmy had to Ayuk gets called back with a Brendel holding, which was a garbage call.
Poor Brendel. I mean, he just lost his gig right there. He should have lost his gig because he played those 3 penalties right there. It's time to find somebody else. You can't have your backup catcher, your backup center giving you 3 key costly penalties on a drive where you have to score and score fast.
Kyle Shanahan on why there wasn't more urgency to be found in the fourth quarter.
I just knew we had 2 more times with the ball. And we did do a number of no-huddle plays. We also mixed it up not doing it, too. So we did both. The key is that you can't come up short on that. Expect get the ball twice. And we're not going to panic when we feel like we have 2 more possessions, especially with 3 timeouts. But when you don't score on that and it came up, was it the 4th and 1 on that drive? Can't remember. But that definitely backfires when you don't score on one of them.
Somebody want to tell Kyle that a no-huddle offense is not a sign of panic? That no-huddle doesn't mean you're panicking. Playing with some urgency doesn't mean you're panicking. When he said, we mixed back in the huddle up, well, there's a huge mistake right there. I mean, you have a diminishing amount of time on a scoreboard that is flashing in neon red. You're in trouble. And he sat there and didn't react to the game situation. That's what drives me nuts. You want to talk about what drove you nuts about the San Francisco Giants? They had a game plan that they wanted to stick to more than they wanted to play the game that was in front of them. Kyle Shanahan had a game plan. He's down 14-0 right away. So what? They went away from the game plan. They tied the game up at 14-0, and he goes right back to, all right, well, we're going to play like we're up 21-0. And his 16-play, 8-minute drive in a fourth quarter when you're down 2 scores, even if you did score, you screwed it up.
Right. His premise is totally wrong. Well, we knew we had 2 possessions left. You didn't know you had 2.
You didn't know anything.
You didn't know you had 2 possessions left.
Yeah, they're running the ball down your throat, actually.
What do you mean you knew you had 2 possessions left? When the Niners got the ball for their 9th drive, this 16-play drive at the end, down 14 points, there was 10 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. When they did not get it at 4th and 2 and gave the ball back to Atlanta, and Atlanta took the ball, Atlanta had 2 minutes and 34 seconds left. So if they had scored a touchdown on that endless drive that he didn't need to hurry up on because he was getting the ball anyway, if they had scored a touchdown, they're still giving the ball back to Atlanta, down 7, and Atlanta has 2 minutes and 34 seconds left on the clock. So if you could somehow miraculously stop them and get the ball back, what were you going to have left? 30 seconds? Maybe? 45 seconds?
Right. For the gang that can't shoot straight, especially if you got to shoot downfield.
And it just took you 8 minutes to move. I mean, the idea that it was a lock that they had 2 possessions. No, it wasn't. You almost didn't get the second possession because you were so deliberate on the first possession, your 9th of the game. This game is, the Shanahan play calling bothered me at the end, but also, I mean, the drop by the tight end Warner, the drop by Ray McLeod. I mean, those were crushers, absolute crushers. I mean, Garoppolo can't throw a better ball. He put it right on Warner's hands. Put it right there for Ray McLeod. Where's the dive? I mean, seriously, you don't want to dive for it? You're out there. It's a huge play in the game. You don't think maybe I'll lay out for it. I've seen other guys lay out for it. No. So, I mean, it was a bad. Between Brendel needs to be replaced. They need to somehow find Danny Gray. Their offensive weapons, especially the running backs, without Elijah Mitchell, are just not dynamic at all. Where it all adds up. Forget the defense for a second because we can get on them in a minute. But it was more about Mariota and a great play calling game plan by Arthur Smith. But the Niners' offense is consistently less than the sum of its parts. And that is just absolutely...
And that's coaching.
That has to be on... You have the left tackle. You got the all-pro tight end. You got Debo. You got Ayuk. You got a can full of backs. You got offensive line depth. You may have the best offensive lineman in the game. You're not producing points, and it's not one day. Second half against Chicago, 3. Second half against Seattle, 7.
Do you see me waving at you? Do you see me waving at you?
Yeah.
Do you know what that means?
That means we got to go.
Thank you.
All right. They cannot score in the second half.
We're brought to you by BMW Fairfield. We got an awful lot to get into today. The Hall of Famer and the playmaker Michael Irvin, he joins us at 4:15. That's the only guest we have. We got open lines for you at 888-957-9570. A bad weekend for the 49ers. A great weekend for 2 Golden State Warriors. Bad weekend for baseball teams with 100 regular season or more wins. And we got a lot for you this afternoon. Larry Krueger in for Ray Ratto. It's Damon and Ratto. We're streaming on Twitch, on YouTube. You can join the conversation there. We'd rather you be right here. 888-957-9570. The 49ers got a problem. His name's Kyle Shanahan.
Brought to you by On Deck Small Business Loans.
When you own a small business, sometimes you need funds fast. So go to OnDeck.com, America's largest online small business lender. OnDeck makes it easy to apply in minutes. Apply for your loan today at OnDeck.com.
O'Reilly. Count on the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the best products for your vehicle and budget. Get maximum cooling system performance for 10 years or 300,000 miles with peak long life universal pre-mixed antifreeze and coolant. Now just $3.99 after mail-in rebate. Limits apply. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with fast speeds and advanced security. Together for just $69.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Or find out how to get up to a $650 prepaid card with a qualifying bundle. Limited time offer, restrictions apply. New 50 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. Requires enrollment in EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most RootMetrics 5G data reliability wins in 1H 2022. Results may vary, not an endorsement.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. you'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Fremont Bank. If there's one thing we understand more than anybody, it's that it takes a local bank to really get the needs of local businesses. Fremont Bank has the flexibility and motivation to service your business loan needs like other banks can't or won't. With our full suite of business loan products and recognition as a top SBA lender in the Bay Area, Fremont Bank is the right choice for local and family-owned businesses. Fremont Bank. Learn more at fremontbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Golfers, tee it up this fall at the Golf Mart for big savings. Save up to $150 off on Ping G425 woods. Upgrade your gear with discounted Wilson standard cart golf bags and stock up on TaylorMade Distance Plus golf balls. Now 2 dozen for $35. Don't miss these items and more happening now at the Golf Mart and get a free custom fitting today. The Golf Mart, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, or shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
Finding the right Medicare plan? Oof, no easy feat. Kind of like those dances my granddaughter loves making me do. But then I found Walgreens FindRx coverage. Lets you compare plans online, over the phone, or in person. Made Medicare shopping so easy. Plus, I found plans with low-cost copays. I can get down with that. Medicare annual enrollment ends December 7th. Find a plan that's right for you at walgreens.com/Medicare.
When Big Mobile charges you an arm and a leg, they're taking your money and your power. And your arm and leg. Boost Mobile gives your power back with an unlimited plan for $25 a month on one of America's largest 5G networks. We can't give you back your arm and your leg because we're not qualified surgeons. Unless you're an iguana who can grow limbs back. Switch to Boost and get an unlimited plan for $25 a month. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power. New customers only. One line, $25 per month with autopay. Additional restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com for details.
Without the ones like you who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7 with supplies and solutions for every industry and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Charging a cell phone can be like getting a booster shot. A booster is given to enhance or restore protection after a primary series vaccination, which wanes over time. Schedule an appointment when you are eligible. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Now back to Damon and Ratto on 95.7 The Game. Brought to you by BMW Fairfield. Now open in the Fairfield Auto Mall. Visit BMWFairfield.com today to book your visit.
Trimark West has been partnering with independent restaurateurs in Northern California now for over 55 years, bringing innovative product solutions to help the hospitality business thrive. Visit TrimarkWest.com to learn more. Damon and Ratto, Damon and Larry, once again this Monday afternoon here where the 49ers absolutely let go of the rope once again in a second half. Shut out in Atlanta, a 28-14 loss to send them to 3-3. I guess the good news is they're still in a first-place tie in the NFC West, and other key NFC teams, that could be a threatening playoff entity. Look at it this way. The Bays lost. Green Bay, Tampa Bay, and then the Bay Area. It was a rough day on the Bays around the NFL. We have very interesting kind of developments out of Chase Center with extensions to not just Jordan Poole, but Andrew Wiggins as well. And clearly a line has been drawn in the sand concerning where Draymond's standing is now. In terms of future plans, the Golden State Warriors are making future plans, and Draymond's not going to be in them. I mean, that's pretty much kind of the math that was spit at us today But I know that our 2 midday shows, Larry, we're down at Chase Center celebrating the fact that tomorrow night is opening night in the NBA. So we're going to spend a little time on the NFL before we circle the wagons back around to some of the other things that happened this weekend, because there's a lot of sound from today's Kyle Shanahan conference call, some sound yesterday, and George Kittle at the podium had this to say about the way the 49ers played.
We're the San Francisco 49ers. We have a standard that we play at. I mean, we play at a very high level, a lot of energy, 100% effort on every single play. And, I haven't watched the tape yet, but I don't know if we gave that today, at every single position. And, we had a lot of young guys play. We had some, like you said, we're missing a lot of guys. And we just got to make sure that we're playing at that level every single snap, or otherwise that's going to happen, especially when you are down guys. You can look at it as, we're down, how many ever, 7, 8 starters, or you can look at it as that's a lot of young guys with an opportunity to go out there and, make big plays and, get their names known. So we've dealt with it before. It's not easy, but, I'm not going to use that as an excuse. We're a very talented team. Our offense still has a lot of talented guys on it that can, get a lot of yak with the football. And, we got, I think, one of the best linebackers in football, Fred Warner, and our safeties are playing pretty well too. So, and that D-line's still good. So I just think we should have played better.
I think your coach should have coached better, George. I actually don't think the fall apart was in any of the many understudies who were asked to make a play. Obviously, we're going to talk about the Warner drop and, the Ray McLeod drop as well, the 2 big shots. Here's the thing. The 49ers take so few shots that you can't drop the ones that are there for you. And it feels like once something goes wrong downfield, well, it's going to be a long time before we look for anything downfield again. There is a lack of confidence that Kyle Shanahan has in his quarterbacks, his receivers, and all this yak yard stuff. It's fantastic. You know what's better than throwing a ball to a receiver for 4 yards and then letting him do all the dirty work is, let him get some speed up. Let him catch the ball downfield and then go yak yards against corners and safeties. That's how, you turn big plays into touchdowns, not little plays into first downs. And there's too much just underneath cuteness in a league that isn't married across the board to underneath cuteness the way that the San Francisco 49ers are. I mean, it's ridiculous how little Kyle Shanahan expects out of Jimmy Garoppolo in year 15 now, or whatever the hell he is with the Niners. There should be no lack of urgency that you'd have, well, my rookie quarterback doesn't know how to get everybody to the line of scrimmage that quickly, and, the no huddle's a little rough with the new guy in there. Jimmy's not the new guy. He's not the new guy, and Kyle Shanahan played that fourth quarter like he was up 14, not down 14. And there used to be, and look, I like Kyle Shanahan. I think he is a very good play caller. I think he's got the potential to be so much more than he is actually revealed. But this is a results-based business. And I no longer live in a world where Kyle's definitely the right guy out there for the job. He's the guy for the job right now. I am convinced Sean Payton would get more out of this offense than Kyle's been able to get out of it. And I don't know if it's Kyle's picadillos or persnickety nature or just his marriage to such a conservative offense at all times, Larry, that, he is who he is. But, man, he doesn't change. Kyle's like too consistent for his own good. He is not ready to change based on real-time information coming back to him off of a football field.
There's a lot there. One, let's go back to the Kittle quote that we just played. That's interesting. Just the fact that he's clearly you don't step to the microphone and call out your teammates unless you're damn sure that you're on the right. So obviously he saw something that was not up to speed.
But Kyle didn't.
I would disagree with that. I like George saying that. That's, to me, how you feel, especially when a team kind of dominates the game in terms of how they ran the ball, with the amount of carries they got compared to us, the time of possession and stuff like that. But I didn't look at any of the guys lacking intensity or going after it. They just, that was a very physical team. That's how they played every single team they've played. That's why they've been in pretty much every game they've played. That's why they have had a number, they've been close to winning a number in a row. That's why they had a chance to come back versus Tampa on that. But I thought it came more down to the turnover that we had and not converting on those third downs that didn't allow us to, get into our physicality with running the ball.
So, it doesn't surprise me that Kyle wouldn't agree with Kittle because it's Kyle's job. Essentially, Kittle is pointing the finger, even though maybe he didn't mean to, at Kyle. He is pointing it at Kyle when he says guys weren't up to speed or guys weren't doing their job.
You should have said, the guy with the headset on. He's got to get his head out of his ass.
It's his job. It's his job to have his team ready to play. And one of the leaders in the room felt like there were some guys that weren't either given their all or weren't dialed in the right way or weren't focused or whatever. And so that is on the coaching staff. So it doesn't surprise me that Kyle would push back on that. It did surprise me that Kittle said it. And I don't think he would have said it without him having some pictures in his mind. He hasn't watched the film yet when he made that comment, but he saw some things on the field that obviously led him to that comment. That's not out of thin air, and he's not the kind of guy that creates controversy for controversy's sake. So either he's your leader on the team and we should listen to him, or he doesn't know what he's talking about. And I'll go with the latter, the former, I should say, that he actually is a leader on the team and he knows what he's talking about, and he's probably pointing to something. But Kyle doesn't want to address that because that points the finger right back at the coaching staff and maybe him particularly. The more alarming thing is not yesterday. The more alarming thing are the trends that we're seeing, which is that the 49er offense can't pass when they need to pass, can't run when they need to run, can't come from behind in the fourth quarter of a game. Have they ever come from behind of a significant margin in the fourth quarter? What was the stat that we were talking about before the show? It's like
the 49ers have never won a game in which they've trailed by at least 4 points going into the fourth quarter. Now, they have won a game.
That's a ringing indictment.
Where they have won a game where they've been down by more 4 points in the fourth quarter because of an early fourth quarter opponent score.
Right.
But they have never won a game under Kyle Shanahan where they've been down 4 points going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah. I think Kyle Shanahan is a terrific coach, and I'm on record as saying that. People that point to his record, I think you have to break it up. He started 10-22 when he was taking over for Tom Sewell and Chip Kelly, and they were clearing out the roster. Then since that point, I think he's 36-25. So, and then in 4-2 in the playoffs. I think Kyle Shanahan is an outstanding coach, but the lack of urgency in this game in the fourth quarter, and also watching Arthur Smith carry out the game plan that Lowe and I discussed in the pregame should have been Kyle's game plan.
Right.
You have 6 defensive starters that aren't suiting up for you. You need to play ball control. You need to dominate the time of possession. You needed the Arthur Smith game plan on your side, and instead you let Smith kind of dictate the terms on his side. So, and ultimately it cost you the game. I mean, and here's the other bottom line on the thing, and we can sit there and talk about this and that. How many times does an NFL team go on the road and they're -3 in turnovers and win the game? It just doesn't happen. And it really doesn't happen if you're going up against a well-coached team, and the Falcons are a well-coached team. And then let's be honest here. Marcus Mariota had the game of his life against the best defense in the league, -6 starters. I mean, he completed 93% of his passes. His first incompletion, there was like 10 minutes left in the game.
No, well, his only incompletion was his last pass attempt of the day. He started 13 for 13. He ended up 13 for 14.
Wow. And he had some really key runs.
And he's also literally the template for how you ask a quarterback to run.
Not between the tackles, but outside the tackle box.
If you're Trey Lance, you want to run a football like Marcus Mariota, not the way your head coach has been asking you to run fullback power belly dive in between guards.
Right, where everybody's staring at you, and you're going to take at least 1 or 2 hits. Mariota was so good on his play fakes, Damon, that on 2 of the play fakes, he fooled the camera person.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're fooling the camera person, that's a great fake. And their run game, Caleb Huntley's nothing. Tyler Allgeier's nothing. But if you have a good offensive line and you're really multiple, and your quarterback also has to be accounted for because of the read option looks that you can provide, it becomes it's a good way to slow down an incredibly fast pursuing defense, and they did it.
You take away the second half success in Carolina. The 49ers offense has scored 19 total points in the second half. So far this year, in 5 of 6 games, the Niners' second half offensive output has combined for 19 total points. Kyle is a major issue. Teams are adjusting to him at halftime and burying his offense week after week after week. They're taking what Kyle does and turning it off like a faucet.
He can only surprise. So if they can't pass on first down, if they ever get into an obvious passing down, they can't pass. They ever get into an obvious running situation, they can't run. They can only fool you. They can pass it when you think they're going to run early in the game. Soon as they lose connection on the scoreboard by a touchdown, 10 points, it's jailbreak on the quarterback. We saw it in the NFC Championship game. Look what everybody talks about Tart. I had to hear endlessly about Tart. The Niners had 2 full offensive possessions after Tart in the NFC Championship game. They got 0 first downs. This incredible guru, offensive mastermind genius, the modern day Bill Walsh, 0 first downs on 2 key offensive possessions with the Super Bowl in the balance.
That doesn't sound like it's good to me, and this shouldn't sound like it's good to anybody. Because if Kyle had a style that he heirs to, it's conservative. And when you got enough defense, when you got enough badass on that side of the ball, you wanting to go conservative, I don't have a problem with it. I don't need to see the Kansas City Chiefs offense, the Buffalo Bills offense week after week to enjoy the football game that I'm watching. You play sound defensive football. You play bully boy football. I like that. Conservative, successful football, I'm good with it.
It's called complementary football.
I'm good with it. For such a conservative offense, and by the way, conservative is the opposite of risky. It's the opposite of we might turn it over a lot. As conservative as Kyle is, and I saw this from Josh Dubow, most turnovers in the NFL since Kyle Shanahan arrived in 2017. Where do you think the 49ers are in the NFL in the turnover department since Kyle became head coach?
I would say they're in the bottom 10% of the league.
They're second.
Second worst.
Second worst. Only the Buccaneers, who were, bumblers before Tom Brady showed up. Since 2017, the Buccaneers turned the ball over 151 times. The 49ers have now turned the ball over 149 times.
So they're turnover crazy.
Turnover crazy in a conservative offense that doesn't push the ball downfield, that is afraid to score.
That is also the NFL's most injured team consistently. And then how about this? The 49er rushing EPA per play, their ranking under Shanahan, 2019, they were 7th.
Tell the people what EPA means for those, who are new to the new stats.
Well, I don't even actually fully I can't even fully describe it, but it's the key rushing stat that factors in everything. Rushing EPA per play. It kind of blocks out everything else and just cuts right to the essence of your run game. 2019, they were 7th in the NFL. They ran the ball very effectively. Top 10. 2020, that dropped to 11th. 2021, that dropped to 23rd. They are 27th in the NFL.
Dude, the league's on to
rushing EPA per play this year under Kyle Shanahan. The bigger question is what has happened to the bread and butter of Kyle Shanahan's offensive playbook, which is the run game. Everybody would say, hey, we could get Baldy, Greg Cosell, we get everybody in the world in here and say, what's the key to Kyle Shanahan's offense? It's his run-pass fusion. It's his run game, and it's his play-action game off of that run game. They're 27th in the NFL right now running the football, and they were 7th when he took over, and it's steadily gone downhill. Why is that? And then you watch some of these other teams. You look at Miami. Miami's got Jalen Waddle. He's fast. They got Tyreek Hill. He's fast. They got Raheem Mostert. He's fast. I'm looking at Tevin Coleman. I love Tevin Coleman. He's tough, but he's not fast. And Jeff Wilson. I love him. He's tough, but he's not fast. They don't have that dynamic runner without Elijah Mitchell. They tried to kind of replicate that with Deebo Samuel as a runner last year. Now that little wrinkle is catching nobody by surprise.
The entire league has studied Kyle for so many years. They're onto him.
They have no speed.
They're onto him. The league is sitting on top of Kyle's playbook. The whole league runs Kyle's playbook. He sneaks up on no one. He surprises nothing. And I'm telling you, I used to believe, all right, we do live in a world where you can't really go out and get a better coach, so I don't want to hear about firing this guy until you have a better idea. I didn't have a better idea until I heard that Sean Payton wanted to keep on coming.
Supposedly he wants to coach the Chargers next year. We'll see. And Justin Herbert, who goes tonight. But, yeah, the Niners' problems are injuries on defense and their offense.
Well, injuries everywhere all the time and Kyle's side of the ball.
But, I mean, he's an offensive coach. So if he's a genius and he's an offensive coach and he's been here for 5 or 6 years, they should have that offense humming by now.
Yeah, they do not. This is Mr. Jones in Atlanta. He was at the game. Mr. Jones, what'd you see at the game?
Okay. I saw no energy, right? And Kittle was right. I thought I was the only one paying attention. Now, Slick kind of blamed myself. Because I'm like, when I supposed to go over there, I looked at the sideline. I was sitting on the Atlanta team side because I like to go over there and talk hella trash to all the losers that's usually over there, right? So, it was kind of like a homecoming to me. But I'm looking at the sideline, and I'm like, dang, why the whole team sitting on the bench? Ain't nobody getting up. Ain't nobody rah-rahing. Ain't nobody trying to rally the troops. I'm like, did everybody go to Magic City last night? Where the energy at? Real talk. Like, you have to be there to see it. You know what I'm saying? It's stuff inside the game that you notice. So I'm like, well, maybe they and then Atlanta has that thing, too, where the away team sits in the sun. You know what I'm saying? That was a thing, too. But I'm like, still, look, bro, the whole team is on the bench. Nobody. So, like I said, y'all know what that means. Everybody just sitting there, ho-humming. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking, okay, Cal coming back to Atlanta. Yeah, he wants to show off. We should be real dynamic. Look, bro, I already knew. I put it in the bet that Jimmy was going to.
Oh, Mr. Jones.
Cell phone. Zapped.
He was rolling. I was going to let him finish the hour.
By the way, the text line says, Jeff Wilson hit 20-plus miles per hour this season. He's not fast? Well, it's all relative, but look up his 40 time coming out of college. It was like 4.57. I mean, that's just middle of the road. I mean, he's not a burner. That's my point.
No, that's the thing. He's all the NFL speed that you need when he's untouched and already 20 yards downfield. That's top end speed. How fast are you from your stance in the play before the ball is snapped to the line of scrimmage? How fast are you there? How fast are you in the first 4 strides of whatever route or run design you're actually participating in? And I've always thought that Jeff Wilson was a bit of a heavy-footed type of plotter, but he is a power back, and you need guys like that. You just need a change of pace to that power back, and unfortunately, you cannot play for the Niners for more than 4 weeks in a row without a hospital visit. And that's something else that eventually, I understand. Football is a really, really difficult sport, and it is hard on the body, but it is harder on 49ers bodies than it is on any other football team. It's insane.
Year after year.
It's insane the amount of blue tent visits and walking off the field and not getting up quickly and hurt today. And, hey, we didn't even know he was hurt. But on Monday, his name showed up on an injury report, and on Wednesday, he was on IR. That's what happened to not George Kinlaw, but
Javon
Kinlaw. Thank you very much. Getting my
your
Kinlaws, my Kavon Loonies,
your Javons and your Kavons.
We're right in the middle of going from one season to the next. I'm a little scrambled.
It's just bad ball too. I mean, injuries, penalties, inconsistent, undisciplined play, drop passes. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I heard Garoppolo kind of referenced Damon that he thought it was somewhat of an exhausting week. I always thought that they traveled to West Virginia so that they would save energy, right? They wouldn't have the travel back and forth, east-west.
Right.
But to hear Garoppolo say yesterday in the postgame, he made it seem like the week in West Virginia was exhausting. Now, I don't know why. I'm not really sure why. And they've had great success. I think in the 8 games surrounded by this little trip, they were 7-1 until yesterday. So now they're 7-2. But I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. All I got to say is that, man, you can't you can't have hyper negative. The 49ers do some good things, but what they have is these hyper negative plays. Jeff Wilson fumbles and turns into 6. You know, you've got these interceptions that burn you. Charlie Warner drops a bomb. Ray McLeod drops a bomb. Those had to be 70 yards of field position in those 2 drops. So, I mean, they're making crucial mistakes. And then Jake Brendel, you know, the old saying, you're only as weak as your weakest link. I mean, my goodness, 3 penalties on 1 drive. I mean, that cooked him right there. And then when you look at the fact that Arthur Smith played such incredible ball control with Mariota, that the 49ers didn't have a lot of drives to play with in this game. So, I mean, if you've got the 1 drive ends because of Wilson, 1 drive ends because of Warner, 1 drive ends because of McLeod, while 1 drive, goes nowhere because of 3 Brendel penalties, those are half your offensive drives in the game. Gone. Because of overwhelmingly negative plays that you caused. So, I mean, they're shooting themselves in the foot. They still, I mean, they're not dead because, as you said, the conference looks really weak. They're the best team in the division, probably. I mean, they got the best record. They got the best point differential. They're probably going to win the division. It's not that, like, this team has no shot at the playoffs, but why can't they come from behind? Why couldn't they play hurry-up football?
Here's the thing. Kyle's got 1 pitch. He's got 1 speed. He's got 1 game plan. And the minute something goes wrong, he is sticking with his 1 game plan, his 1 pitch, his 1 speed. He does not adjust in-game. He does not adjust game to game. And that is a good way to underachieve in modern football, full stop. And I'll tell you this, injuries, problem on all sides of the ball. D'Amico found a way. Kyle didn't. D'Amico Ryans, his defense was down 7-8 starters. 9 the minute Ward goes out of that game? He finds a way. The defense yesterday only gave up 21 points. That should be enough to get you across the finish line on the road against a team that isn't playing hair-on-fire football either. And why did it take so long to get Deebo Samuel involved? All that when we come on back. Larry and for Ray today. It's Damon and Ratto on 95.7 The Game. We're brought to you by Fremont Bank. Full-service banking, no compromises.
Great cars and great customer experience are what define a great dealership. At BMW of Fairfield, we deliver on both counts. BMW of Fairfield is the top-rated BMW dealership in the Bay Area, according to Google reviews. We love selling the ultimate driving machines, but our success rests on the outstanding experience we provide our customers. It's a better way to buy and own a vehicle. Experience it for yourself at BMW of Fairfield. 1 price, 1 person, 1 hour.
This football season, adopt a new tradition that's sure to turn fans into family. The Jim Beam Highball. That's beam and soda over ice with a lemon slice. Share one at the stadium or make one at home. Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume. Copyright 2022, James B. Beam Distilling Company, Claremont, Kentucky. Drink smart.
Our company, Repurpose, has a really cool mission. Get rid of plastic. Meanwhile, we had this problem. Our office was all paper, and nobody wanted to file paperwork, print checks, mail them. We don't do that anymore. Now we've got Bill. It lets us be digital. Bill saves us paper and time. No matter where our key players are, they have visibility into our cash flow. Goodbye plastic, goodbye paper.
Automate your finances with Bill. Learn more at Bill.com.
If you own a business, this has been a bumpy ride. From pandemic to inflation, I'm sure you could use a break. If your business has 5 or more employees and survived COVID, you might be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's why I founded GetRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. The team of tax attorneys we have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program. We do all the work, charge not a dime up front, and simply share a percentage of the cash that we get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to getrefunds.com/sports, Click on Qualify Me and answer a few questions. This payroll tax refund is only available for a limited period of time. Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per employee. Go to getrefunds.com/sports. That's getrefunds.com/sports. If you own a business, this has been a bumpy ride. From pandemic to inflation, I'm sure you could use a break. If your business has 5 or more employees and survived COVID, you may be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's why I founded GetRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. The team of tax attorneys we have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program. We do all the work, charge not a dime up front, and simply share a percentage of the cash that we get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to getrefunds.com, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. This payroll tax refund is only available for a limited period of time. Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per employee. Go to getrefunds.com. That's getrefunds.com.
For 25 years, Buy Right Market in San Francisco has partnered with purveyors of deliciousness to bring you local food that adds a dash of unique to every meal and celebration. Hi friends, this is Jamie, Buy Right's head of product. And this season, whether you're planning an elaborate meal, watching the game, heading to a friend's, or cozying up for a night in, Buy Right will help you savor what matters most. Pre-order your holiday meals at buyrightmarket.com or stop by and discover something unique for yourself. Gather, share, and enjoy with Buy Right.
Tune in to 95.7 The Game for Warriors Live, 90 minutes before tip-off of every Warriors game. Brought to you by Xfinity Sports Zone, the ultimate hub for everything sports. With live games, shows, news, and highlights, all in one place. Only with Xfinity X1.
Locked On Warriors is a daily podcast covering your favorite team, the defending world champion Golden State Warriors. I'm your host, Cyrus Softas, and every Monday through Friday, Locked On Warriors brings you all of the biggest Warriors stories in around 30 minutes. We cover Stephen Curry and the dynasty that is one of the greatest teams in the history of this beautiful game. Listen to the Locked On Warriors podcast every day on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Staples.
So rumor has it that Staples has everything I need to ship.
Mm-hmm. We have all the shipping supplies and services you need.
Boxes?
Yep.
Mailers?
Yeah, and we have UPS here in store.
Huh. What will Staples think of next?
Right?
No, seriously, I'm asking, what will they think of next?
Staples is your one-stop shipping destination. Now get 50% off shipping boxes, mailers, or tubes when you buy 5 of the same item in-store or online with 1-hour pickup. Staples, the best-kept secret in shipping. Ends 12/31. Exclusions apply. Visit staplesconnect.com/shipping for details.
The new Michelin silicone plates last through everything.
On a world record-breaking drive from Alaska to South America in unpredictable conditions.
Thunderstorms, ice storms, they just don't quit.
Rainier Zeidlo chose Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades with advanced Quad-Tech 4-layer coated silicone that repels water, snow, and ice and lasts 2 times longer than other blades.
It's coming down in sheets.
Real world proven. Extreme weather wiping performance. Upgrade to Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades today. Only at Walmart.
Now back to Damon and Ratto, brought to you by BMW Fairfield on 95.7 The Game.
It is really good to have you here tonight. Damon Bruce along with Larry Krueger this Monday afternoon, and we're going to invite you to keep it right here this Monday night from 6 to 7. It's the Football Hour with Sean Salisbury and Lorenzo Neal. They'll try to talk you through what it is they saw in Atlanta. Larry, I think you and I can agree what we saw in Atlanta, it just wasn't enough. There wasn't enough urgency. There wasn't enough creativity. There wasn't enough execution. And it's all on Kyle's side of the ball. Like you said, man, there are certain moments that always define what kind of head coach you have in a football game. And the adjustments made to results of the first half and early third quarter success. You know, did you make the right adjustment? Did you come out with the right script against the defense after you know the way that they're playing, after you know kind of how you're playing? Well, on a day where they needed to get something going, you know, the 49ers come out in that second half and they run, 3 plays, 5 yards, 3 and out. Touchdown, Falcons. So now it's 28-14. Very next drive by the 49ers, 5 plays, 19 yards. Look, if you're only going to run 5 plays and 19 yards, why is it taking you 2 minutes? Either way, punt after that. Then you get the interception after a 6-play drive, but it's this 16-play, 80-yard, 8-minute drive that Kyle tried to concoct from his own 1-yard line. And just listen to this. I don't want to get too complicated as to what all happened and all everything that happened in the play. I just want to give you time and where they are on the field. Okay. And there's penalties that are backing them up. So there's 10 minutes and 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter, Larry. They're at 1st and 10 on the 1. Then they're at the 10-yard line. Then another play brings them to the 12-yard line. Then, unfortunately, they're back at the 7-yard line. Then they go up to the 18. Then they're to the 21-yard line. Then they're to the 23-yard line. Then, unfortunately, an offensive holding, they're back at the 13-yard line.
And that negated the huge catch from Ayuk, which that was one of the biggest plays of the game that got negated by the Brendel hold.
It was at Atlanta's 38-yard line. It completely flipped the field, and Jake Brendel gets called for really the kiss of death holding penalty of the entire day. But here we are. Remember, this started at the 1-yard line with 10 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter in a game that you were down 2 touchdowns in. And now you are at the 13-yard line with 6 minutes and 58 seconds. In other words, they had gone 12 yards in about 4 minutes.
Right.
4.5 minutes, they've moved the ball 12 total yards based on all the backing up and all the reversal of direction and going broke on the profit that was in front of them.
And if you were sitting there, like I was sitting there watching it, and I said to my kid, they're done. That's over.
Yeah.
They're on the 13-yard line. It took them 4 minutes. They need 2 scores. And, of course, my kid looked at me. He's like, Dad, you're being super negative. I'm like, well, you know what? I'm not being super negative. I'm just being realistic. But, he's a kid. But at the same time, I was feeling super negative, kind of the way I'm probably sounding right now, super negative. Because it's because ultimately, Damon...
I mean, you're a kiss of sunshine compared to Ray.
Yeah. Well, let me just say this. I think most people will point to the third quarter as the defining... Do you have a good coach or not? Does your coach make halftime adjustments? Is he really sharp or not?
Third quarters and bye weeks. These are easy places to see how good you are as a coach.
Exactly. After halftime, you just kind of described it. The Niners mustered only 2 first downs on their next 3 drives. The first 3 drives of the second half, they got 2 first downs on those 3 drives. And where do the Niners rank on offensive points by quarter compared to the rest of the league? In the third quarter, this pivotal quarter, which defines how good of a coach you have, they're 28th. They're 28th in the NFL in third quarter scoring. So, I mean, I like Kyle Shanahan too. I think he's a sharp guy. I'd rather have him than Chip Kelly. I'd rather have him than Jim Tomsula. I'd probably rather have him than 20 or 30 coaches I can think of. But he's not above reproach. He's not above criticism. He's not above calling him out. Nobody will do that down there for the most part because he is the end-all, be-all. And I don't know who exactly checks him because he hired the GM and the owner loves him, so he's kind of the czar of all that is Niners. But
Jed York needs to have him in his office today.
Very disappointing day to day.
Kyle, what was an 16-play, 80-yard drive that took 8 minutes when you were down 2 touchdowns?
And you're huddling on a dozen of those plays.
Again, here is what Shanahan had to say. Why wasn't there more urgency? Listen to this. This sounds ridiculous.
I just knew we had 2 more times with the ball.
No, you didn't.
And
no, you didn't.
We did do a number of no-huddle plays.
No, you didn't.
We also mixed it up not doing it, too.
Wrong to mix that in.
The key is that you can't come up short on that. Expect the ball, get the ball twice.
Why are you coming up short?
We're not going to panic when we feel like we have 2 more possessions.
No huddle's not no panic.
3 timeouts. But when you don't score on that and it came up, was it the 4th and 1 on that drive? Can't remember. But that definitely backfires when you don't score on one of them.
How about third and one on that drive, and you're tossing it back to Tevin Coleman, like you said. It was ridiculous.
Okay, so the only thing I'll say in defense of him there is the Niners once upon a time had a head coach when he would be faced with that question would just say, I don't know. I got to look at the tape. So that's all his recall at the podium afterwards, where we've had other coaches who were like, hey, you know what? I don't know. I have no clue. I can't remember. So his recall is always impressive. He's engaged. I'm just saying there was no urgency there. When they called the 2nd and 10 run play from the 46-yard line to Tevin Coleman, that's when I was just like,
you cowards.
Screw this. This is
you cowards.
This is done. What are we even doing here? What are we even doing? If you're going to run Tevin Coleman with like 5 minutes left in the game when you're down 14 points, I mean, what are you doing? What are you doing? You should have been in a pass-happy mode 5 minutes before that. And
running to the line of scrimmage, not meandering and dawdling in between plays and sort of huddling up, and it's
inexcusable to do what they did on that drive.
We don't want to panic. He said we don't want to panic. Going fast isn't panicking.
It's going fast. It's giving yourself a chance to win.
It's being aware of the game that you're actually playing. Again, Kyle's got a way that he wants to go about doing things and methodically linking this play to that.
You know what coach used tempo in this game to his advantage? Arthur Smith.
Yes.
They got into a 4th and 1 or a 3rd and 1. They raced to the line of scrimmage. Don't let the defense set up. We're going to get right to the line of scrimmage. We're going to have a play ready and called. I mean, there's a guy that understands tempo and used it to his advantage. It was like Kyle Shanahan gets so wrapped in his play sheet that he thinks he's got more time than he did. You had 10 minutes left of game time, and you're huddling up and calling running plays.
10 minutes and 30
down
seconds.
2 touchdowns.
10 minutes and 30 seconds left at his own 1 yard line, right? So they run their first down play, then they run the second down play, then they're running first down play again. Now it's 1st and 15 at the San Francisco 7. And what do? They call a timeout. Their first timeout of the day, of that half, I should say, was called with 9 minutes and 2 seconds left in the first quarter. And I thought, all right, well, I would much rather you save that to the final drive of your day where you're going to probably be under 4 minutes left to play. Like, you're going to need to stop Atlanta's clock, and you are going to need to stop your own clock at some point here. But at least I thought he's calling that timeout to preach to everyone in the huddle what's about to happen. Okay, guys, pay attention. I am calling our next 4 plays right here.
Right.
I'm calling our next 4 plays right here, right now. Everyone understands what the next 4 plays are. We are going to execute them as if time no longer exists. We are going to go at the speed of light here, and we are going no huddle the rest of the way. And I thought after that timeout, he will have preached, very much, here's how we're going to do it the rest of the way to his team. No. So now it's 2nd and 4 out of the timeout at the San Francisco 18-yard line. It was a Garoppolo in a shotgun formation. He passes short to Debo for 3 yards. That play was snapped with 8:55 on the second. 8:55 left on the clock on second down. Third down play is snapped with 8:07. You just pissed away 38 seconds in between plays. Why? Why are you throwing to Debo Samuel for a 2-yard anything when you're down? The
best thing he could do in that position is drop it.
Drop it. Exactly.
The other thing, and I wanted to look it up, I just did. Okay, so the 49ers started this drive that we're talking about on their 1 yard line with 10. I had 10:40, but you're saying there's 10:30. I'll go with it. 10 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. They drive down. They don't get it on the 4th and 2. When Atlanta takes over, it's 2:34 on the clock. The Niners are still down 14, but let's say theoretically they had scored. So now they're down 7. They're giving the ball back to Atlanta in this, we knew we had 2 possessions. You're giving them the ball back at 2 minutes and 34 seconds left. The Niners did hold them after 1 first down. They got 1 first down. They did hold them. They stuffed Algier on a 3rd down running play. They forced him to punt. When the Niners got the ball back for their next possession, there was 1 minute and 3 seconds left on the clock. So you're telling me...
And 4 plays, 51 yards. It was the best offense of the entire day.
But I mean, you're telling me you didn't need to hurry because you knew you had 2 possessions? You got the ball back with 1:03. And theoretically, if you were down a touchdown, still, you've got a minute and 3 seconds, and that's if everything worked right defensively. You don't know. You haven't been able to stop Atlanta. You couldn't stop them on the first drive. There's no guarantee you were going to stop them at all. But to not go hurry up on that 9th possession when you start at the 1, you should have been absolutely in crazy hurry up. And we don't want to panic. You should have been panicking. You're down 14 points inside of 10 minutes. And if you want to call it panic, you want to call it, you got to have an up-tempo scheme. You got to have, when the game's on the line, I mean, you got to be able to step on the gas and get plays called quickly. I understand it if it's Trey Lance. You're talking about a guy with 3 NFL starts or something like that. This is an NFL quarterback that's been in your system forever. All the guys on the offense have been in the system for years.
There's a lot of continuity.
There's a lot of offensive continuity. And you're moving slow, and the only thing is because you said you knew you had a second possession. That is erroneous. You did not know you had a second possession. And the second possession that you did have, you had a minute and 3 seconds left.
And look, and the guys that you're not having the continuity with are basically the 5 guys blocking, right? Here's how bad of a day the 49ers offensive line had yesterday. Jimmy Garoppolo, no sacks.
He was hit once or twice all day. He had plenty. There were more coverage. That's my whole point about they're not dynamic enough weapons-wise. Jimmy, even without Trent Williams, even without McGlinchey for part of this game, he had time to throw. The announcer said it in the broadcast. These are coverage sacks. Nobody was separating down the field. So that's what I'm saying. They need to be more dynamic. I love Debo, but he's not a dynamic mover. Ayuk I thought was a faster guy than he is, but he clearly is not a burner. Their burners are Ray McLeod and Danny Gray. And on a fast surface, I was hoping they'd both be up and they would make plays down the field to these guys. They took one shot down the field to Ray McLeod. Danny Gray was inactive. I was expecting a lot more from their speed on a fast surface like you saw yesterday.
Real quick, let me welcome everybody to your 4 o'clock hour.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on Twitch, YouTube, and the free Odyssey app. Damn well better be free.
Again, when you talked about when you gave up on that game and you said to your kids, it ain't going to happen.
And you said I was negative.
No, I'm sitting there in my den, right? My basement office that my wife and I share. She's upstairs.
You would probably scare your kids. They're so young.
She's looking at, she's got both kids upstairs. I need a little time. I'm making notes. I'm thinking football. And when this happened, I even made the note. I'm like, that's it.
Not to mention missing 6 defensive starters, but Garoppolo takes the shot, and he put it perfectly. It was Charlie Werner who had a little separation, but couldn't reel it in. Richie Grant in coverage. Oh, my goodness. I mean, that's 2 big drops over the middle on 2 potential big plays, maybe even touchdown-type plays that they have dropped so far in this half alone.
Noah Eagle, who found out that it was pronounced Ebukam about a quarter and a half into the game.
Right.
Along with Mark Schlereth on Fox, and I even made the note. I'm like, that was a had-to-have-it moment. The Niners didn't get it. I bet you they lose today. That was one of those, there it is. Here is an avenue back into a football game. You ain't going to get many of these avenues open in front of you. There it is. And
you know what, though? I was thinking back in Niner lore to past Niner teams. I don't remember the 49ers having the huge 40-yard down-the-field pass play to Jamie Williams back in the day. Suddenly your blocking tight end is the guy that you're going up top to.
Right. This man's not Delaney Walker.
I mean, yeah, this is not he's not your vertical threat. He's on the team because he's a try-hard blocker who will, get after it and push people in the run game. Now, I understand, if you're going to fool people, but and it hit him in the hands. Couldn't have been a more perfect pass.
Ayuk got hit in the hands. McLeod got hit in the hands. Ayuk had a big early drop that was right there. Just lay out a little, and Jimmy put the ball exactly where it needed to be. Jimmy had a better day than he normally has and was let down by receivers time after time again. He wasn't let down by his offensive line. He had time. Jimmy threw the ball 41 times. Only 16 rushes for 50 yards out of Kyle Shanahan's vaunted ground game. That's just not going to get it done.
But Jimmy also had a couple moments. So McLeod drops the deep ball on the 6th drive. on a 2nd and 10 pass play. Should have made that play. So now it's 3rd and 10. They're on their own 30. Garoppolo goes underneath to Juice for 5 when it was 3rd and 10. I mean, are you really going to get that rack from your fullback? I mean, that was disappointing play.
Look, I love an involved fullback. 4 catches? Come on.
And then in the next drive, when Warner dropped the pass that we're talking about, Garoppolo then was 3rd and 5 from the Niners' 44. He threw to Jeff Wilson, and it was just too damn low. It was just too damn low.
Well, too low, too high. Those are, that's part of the adventure of Jimmy Garoppolo.
Right.
But it's to the point now where I really wonder, who holds the other back from realizing what they truly might have been in this league? Is it the quarterback holding back the coach, or is it the coach holding back the quarterback? I really don't know anymore. And that's a shame on Kyle, because we all thought the jury had, clearly voted it's Garoppolo that is holding up what this offense might be one day. I could see...
They're 9-29 without Garoppolo.
I could see Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle.
Yeah, I know, but I could also see Kyle Shanahan have Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen and have game plans that look exactly like this. I think Kyle wants his game plan to be the star of the afternoon at all times. And he doesn't put players in position to make the kind of plays that great players make around this league all the time. And by the way, you said that this might be the low point of the entire organization. I think you're a week away from that, Larry.
Yeah,
I think the low point's coming
next week.
I think the Kansas City Chiefs are coming in here with a pair of brass knuckles to knock out all Kyle's teeth.
What happened to the offense that Shanahan had the year prior when he was in Atlanta, when they set the record for yards created on first down? They on average were sitting at 2nd and 1.5.
Matt Ryan happened.
They were 8. They were averaging 8+ yards per down on first down, and he looked like he had this just total dominance over the rest of the NFL.
I think he had.
We have yet to see that.
I think he had a running game that was at the time new. Now is literally. I mean, today Kyle Shanahan's style of running the ball is the same town trollop that everyone has slept with. We would hear from, in bad Niner years, Michael Irvin, tell us why Kyle Shanahan is still so regarded so well. Brian Baldinger, why? Every coach in the NFL studies Kyle's running style. Everyone. Every single NFL team studies one other team's running game, and it was Shanahan's. And the whole damn world has caught up to what used to be an advantage for Kyle Shanahan. I really believe that. This is Jason calling from the highway. What do you got, Jason?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, what I got to say kind of goes with what you were just saying about who's holding back who, and his offensive plan wants to be the star. So I don't know if you guys remember this bizarre moment. It was 3rd and 1, but everybody thought it was first down. They even moved the chains. And there was a very quick lull in the game because they had to get the chain game back. But in that brief time, you could hear on TV Jimmy yelling for Kyle to get Kyle's attention. I think it's because everyone thought it was first down, but because it wasn't, Jimmy was looking at Kyle, trying to get Kyle's attention. What play do we run? If that's the case, that just goes to show you that no matter what quarterback you have in, Trey, Jimmy, or whoever, what Kyle says goes, and you have to do what Kyle says. Kyle will not give any quarterback free reign. And you said it best. If he had Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, he's still going to run his own game plan.
Right. I bet you he would figure out a way to suppress them rather than unleash them, because it's just his nature.
I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that, because I'd like to think that that's not the case. But at this point, I don't know if Jimmy's been saddled with Kyle or if Kyle's been saddled with Jimmy. I'm starting to think that they're both kind of maybe in the same category, that they're both, on their best days can look great and on their worst days can look awful. And they're probably, somewhere just in the middle. And they're, I don't even know what to say about Shanahan at this point. To me, yesterday was watching the lack of urgency on that drive and watching him get out-coached by Arthur Smith, who really basically handed the 49er defense the exact game plan that the Niners offense should have run against Atlanta with 6 starters out. And the fact that the Niners didn't run that ball control scheme and allowed Smith to run it against them, I don't know where exactly, how much of this blame. All I'll say is this, and I got to stick to what I know. The 49er offense is less than the sum of its parts, and that invariably goes at Kyle.
That
and
is
the
an
offensive
indictment
coaches.
of coaching, without a doubt. Rob in Concord, final call before we bring in Michael Irvin next segment. Hello, Rob.
Hi, guys. Thank you for taking my call. Really, my whole thing with Kyle Shanahan is this: from watching him the last couple of years, and if you can agree with me or disagree, he's a good coach. I think he's a better offensive coordinator. He's a hell of a play designer, but he's a terrible play caller. Again, my opinion. And just off the air, if you guys can answer maybe this question, Charlie Warner being the choice to throw downfield where he dropped the ball, where's George Kittle in a situation like that? That's where George Kittle needs to shine. That's where he needs to get open. Yes, he's going to be targeted. Travis Kelce on the Chiefs, he's going to get double teamed. He's going to have a lot of bodies around him, but you got to try and get the football to your...
Well, I mean, okay, this is what I'll say on that. One, you're totally right. Two, look at Andy Reid. He uses all kinds of tight ends, and yet it's Kelce who's constantly making plays down the field. So what does he do with those other tight ends, the Blake Bells of the world? What does he do with those guys? They do the blocking. Yeah. So I know George is a great blocker, but George is also a 4.5 speed tight end, which means he's also an impact receiver.
He's one of the 10 leading receivers in the history of the franchise now. He can't be an afterthought in catching the ball.
And if you're going to use a tight end that's not George Kittle down the field, his name better be Ross Dwelley. Dwelley is your receiver. You want to use Dwelley down the field? I get it. You want to use Warner down the field? I don't get it. Use Kittle on these passing plays and find other blocking tight ends.
Well, that's a way. That's maybe how Kyle can still, what surprise left do you have the league? Do you have to offer the league? Well, I am the guy who's going to put my nobody pays attention to him run blocking tight end in fly patterns.
And then you're going to see him look shocked when the ball hits his hands, because that's the way he looked, right? Did he look shocked?
Yes, he did.
It was like it's like he'd never seen a pass before.
We'll see how shocked Michael Irvin was about a very interesting day of football that is now in our rearview mirror. One game left tonight. We will get him to weigh in on all of it, but man, the bloom is way the hell off Kyle Shanahan's rose. There is no doubt about it. It's just the league has caught up with what this man used to dominate this league doing. There's no doubt. Damon and Larry in for Ray today here on 95.7 The Game, so don't you go anywhere. The one and only playmaker himself, Michael Irvin, joins us next on 95.7 The Game, and make sure you stay tuned tonight for the football hour with our friends Sean Salisbury and Lorenzo Neal from 6 to 7.
Brought to you by On Deck Small Business Loans. When you own a small business, sometimes you need funds fast. So go to OnDeck.com, America's largest online small business lender. OnDeck makes it easy to apply in minutes. Apply for your loan today at OnDeck.com.
Flying Ace, this is Sky Hunter. I've got my compound eyes on the target.
Copy that. You're on his flight path.
I'm going in.
Got him! Nice move, my four-wing friend.
Tasty. That mosquito never saw me coming.
See how dragonflies catch a mid-air meal at Bugs, a new exhibit at the California Academy of Sciences. Explore the secrets of bugs, massive models, and more. Now open. Get tickets at calacademy.org.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS or go online at carsforkids.org to donate today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Do you like making money wagering on sports? Of course you do. And the guys over at TakingVegas.com have made their customers a boatload of cash through the first 6 weeks of the pro football season, and it's only going to get better on Monday night. Denver, LA, free on a recorded message at 888-9-WIN-NOW. That's 888-994-6669. Guaranteed to win, or the next 30 days are free. Call 888-9-WIN-NOW. That's 888-994-6669 for Denver, LA, free on a recorded message. After that easy winner Thursday night on under Washington, Chicago, TakingVegas.com is now 9-2 on weeknight pro football plays, and it's only going to get better tonight. Denver, LA, free, backed by 30 days of service on a recorded message. 888-9-WIN-NOW. That's 888-994-6669. 888-994-6669.
O'Reilly Auto Parts specializes in keeping your car on the road. Not sure how much life is left in your battery? Our professional parts people will test it for free. If it does need to be replaced, we'll help you find just the right one to fit your car. Our Superstart batteries are built to handle even the toughest conditions. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
California, you deserve more. And with United Healthcare, you'll get more. Annual enrollment is October 15th through December 7th. So call United Healthcare today. With the United Healthcare Medicare Advantage Plan, you get more from your Medicare dollar, now including better than ever dental, vision, over-the-counter, and prescription drug coverage. Call United Healthcare at 1-888-CALL-UHC today and speak with a licensed sales agent. Benefits, features, and/or devices vary by plan and area. Limitations and exclusions apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
When people have a craving to explore new and traditional Asian cuisines, they head to P.F. Chang's, where scratch-made dishes come from the 2,000-year-old tradition of wok cooking. P.F. Chang's wanted to explore new possibilities for their website. They turned to AmericanEagle.com. AmericanEagle.com re-architected P.F. Chang's website, integrating multiple third-party systems to create a unified digital experience. The results? Improved page speed and performance, personalized content based on users' location, intuitive online ordering, an increase in organic search visibility, and a 40% increase in new users. For scratch-made Asian cuisine, visit your local P.F. Chang's or go to pfchangs.com for website design, development, digital marketing, and hosting that produce efficiency, revenue, and results. Visit AmericanEagle.com. P.F. Chang's and AmericanEagle.com. Another example of the best businesses in the world, turning to the best in the business for websites. Go to AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW1. That's 877-WEB-NOW1.
Concord, it will be mostly clear tonight with a low of 57.
Weather brought to you by Pfizer and BioNTech. This fall, there are now updated COVID-19 booster shots designed for recent Omicron variants. Learn more and schedule your updated booster at vaccines.gov.
Muse is bringing their Will of the People World Tour to the Oakland Arena on April 14th, 2023. And 95.7 The Game has your shot at tickets. Enter to win now at 957thegame.com/contests.
Now back to Damon and Ratto, brought to you by BMW Fairfield on 95.7 The Game.
It's great having you here this Monday afternoon. Each and every Monday, we get to say hello to the one and only Hall of Famer, the playmaker, Michael Irvin joins us on Damon and Ratto. No Ray Ratto again this Monday. Our pal Larry Krueger is in once again. Michael, thank you so much for joining us. That did not go according to plan for the 49ers in Atlanta. And down 2 touchdowns, Michael, they ran what could only be, described as a whistling through the graveyard level of urgency that was nowhere to be found. They weren't even going no huddle. and they ran an 80-yard, 16-play, 8-minute-long drive that ended up with a turnover on downs when they were down 2 touchdowns. Where's the urgency? Where is the urgency?
Listen, and I'm serious to it, and I'm gonna say this to you, and I promise you on everything. I felt something when I was looking at this game. And I remember last week listening to them talk about how Kyle Pitts' hamstring is really feeling better now, and he's really ready to go, and he's looking forward to this game. Then I would hear about injuries over in San Francisco. Man, because Atlanta got a lot of good young talent. They're just not a real good team that can consistently make plays. But if you let them, they can sneak you. I just had a feeling this was going to happen, is what I'm saying, and I didn't have enough gall to say it. Or you can take out a G and put a B there and whatever. Well, you know what I mean? I just didn't have enough, but I felt that. I really did feel it. I felt this was going to happen.
Well, it's funny, Larry and I, on Friday when we were setting up this game, we had people calling in and saying, look, you guys are way overselling the Atlanta Falcons. This team, they're the only team in the NFL to cover, but they're not going to beat the 49ers. And what they did, Michael, they beat the 49ers with their own medicine. I mean, everything Kyle Shanahan wants his offense to be, the Falcons were.
Yeah, they got something, boy. I'm telling you, that is a Drake London kid, and I don't know, and I hope things, and I know we're talking about the game here, and I hope things work out with the other kid, with the guy, I forgot his last name, with the gambling issue.
Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley. I hope things work out with him, but if they get all of that talent back, and then they'll find them a young quarterback. So I'm just saying, yeah, I know you feel bad about that loss, but boy, that's Atlanta. I say it this way: Atlanta's going to trick a lot of people this year. They're going to trick a lot of people this year. I guarantee it.
No question. And Mariota played the game of his life. I mean, he absolutely was fantastic, Michael. I got to ask you though: you were on some of the best teams maybe this league's ever seen. And so there were probably plenty of games in September and October in the 90s where you guys just kind of rolled your jocks out there and weren't on your A game and still beat teams. When you play in NFC Championship games and you play in Super Bowls and you coach in those things, does it make some of these early season, is it hard to get it dialed up for regular season football? I'm just trying to look for why the 49ers would seemingly lack such urgency in this game. It was almost as if it didn't matter, or it was like they were up 14 points instead of down.
Right. And you start look at the whole journey now, and they're thinking, hey, you got these injuries, you're turning through the first quarter of the season. You're coming out of the first quarter, you have injuries, and you're in a good spot. You see what the Rams are doing. You see what the teams that are in your division are doing. You just get caught up right here. You start saying, okay, boy, we're in a good position. Well, you got your quarterback that have been there before. Yeah, you can get caught slipping, and you got caught slipping. But I'm serious. I just think it's more that's a talented team that's going to fool some people, that's going to mess up and sharp some people this year. Now, so honestly, bad game. You let one get away, and it may cost you later on. But D, when you look at the NFC, that's what we were arguing about on first take too. I see, yeah, Dallas lost to Philly, but the NFC, when you look at what Tom Brady looks like, what Green Bay looks like, you can take that loss and say, okay, we still got a great shot. It's a great shot to come out of that NFC, because I don't know if the old guards, the Tampas, and Aaron Rodgers can get it back together.
Hey, Michael, I mean, if you're telling me that the 49ers got nowhere to go but getting healthier as the year goes along here, and no one but Philadelphia is separating itself from the conference, I'd believe you. I could see how that would happen.
You match up well with Dallas, and you match up well with Dallas. That's why I didn't want you. That's why I didn't want to play them last year. Because if you're gonna run right at Dallas, because once you get sacked, you run right at Dallas, you can slow down that pass rush. You can slow them down, and you match up so well, and you're physical. You match up well there. Yes, yeah, you'll be right back in it. It'll be right back in this thing. I'm telling you, it's wide open.
Well,
I'm excited.
Here's the thing. It's hard to be optimistic with Kansas City coming up next on the schedule, and the Chiefs are going to be in here licking their wounds after a home loss. So I would expect the Niners to maybe even get their doors blown off of them, because I just do not think that they can keep up with Kansas City if Andy Reid comes in here a little angry. So we'll see if they can get back on the horse.
Well, how healthy is that defense going to be?
Probably not much healthier than it was this past week.
They'll have Bosa. They'll have Bosa.
Because I believe that you could play with them. Man, Patrick Mahomes is something different, and it's so funny. It's so funny. You watching Patrick Mahomes. You watch. Hey, what's up, my man? You watching Josh Allen, dude. They remind me so much, really do, and break out all those Peyton Mannings and Tom Brady's comparison, and Patrick now is winning with the tight end and the running back. That's how Tom Brady won all of those years, tight end and running back with unknown receivers, 2 and 3 receivers, and he still won because he played the game above his shoulders. Patrick Mahomes plays the game above his shoulders, but he also added all of this little spinning around and taking time out while he dancing in the backfield and then finding people, all these different arm angles. So if you're playing with a number 2 and a number 3 receiver, all of this he's doing, he's giving them second and third chances to get open and make plays. I'm doing this interview at a gas station, right? I got everybody stopping filming me. Why? What's up, guys? Because I'm sitting out talking to you, right?
There you go. Yeah, you're a man about town.
Right. But it's a different game now. But now, if you can be physical with Kansas City, you got to stop. You just got to be physical, and somehow you got to contain Patrick Mahomes. Because it ain't on the back end. It's that tight end and what he does that is so phenomenal. It's just so phenomenal. And for me, Josh Allen is a lot like Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning played on the outside with wide receivers. Josh Allen did such a great job with Stephon Diggs and now Gabe Davis and everything. Peyton had Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne. And now we got these guys battling again. We got them battling again. But now, I do believe whichever one of those guys get to the Super Bowl, they'll probably win it, even over any NFC team. I do believe that.
Michael Irvin here on 95.7 The Game. So over the years, even in the down years of 49ers football, one of the things that you've said, one of the things that Brian Baldinger of NFL Network has always said, that even when things were going wrong for the 49ers, other coaches held Kyle Shanahan's running game in such high regard that the only team that every coach in the NFL was studying was the 49ers and that running game. Everyone was looking to improve their own running game by stealing from Kyle's successful model. Has so much thievery happened that Kyle's not surprising anyone anymore? What happens when the league catches up to your advantage, and do you think that could be in play here for the Niners?
Yes and no. Now, remember if you got the mad scientist who designs and this guy who designs these disguising plays and these different running plays that always have success, you got the mad scientist. So he'll continue to design. Yeah, people continue to copy. And when they copy, what happens is then defenses get a chance to practice against it. And that's what you're talking about. Is that at some point the people will catch up with it? I don't think that'll happen. That's what the mad scientists, it keeps evolving. This thing's been like this since his dad's been coaching. Remember, his dad never was putting anybody in this run game and getting Clint Portis and all those guys and filling them in and coming up with big yards. So yeah, you can learn some things, and they've been learning things. But when you get a mad scientist, you got the mad scientist.
It's one of the names that I kept hearing in the last couple of weeks. People talking about Kyle Shanahan. They're comparing him a lot to Norv Turner, who obviously you know well. In your opinion, why was Norv such an incredible offensive coordinator, but then just really outside of a season or two didn't have that kind of success as a head coach? Is there anything that you can point to since you played for him?
Well, first of all, I thought Norv was a brilliant coach, a brilliant man. I can't tell you the things. I learned so much from him, and I still talk to him to this day. And I ask him about what does he see, what's going on in the league. But now, when you start going from an offensive coordinator to a head coach, defensive coordinator to a head coach, is a hell of a step. You got to look at the organizations you took over, Washington and all of that stuff. And even though you can have to say, hey, I can be great at controlling this offense, now I got to control the whole team. What worked when I'm offensive coordinator, you got a guy like me who you can feed, you can get to a receiver and a quarterback and maybe lead your whole offense. Now defense is different. You got a special teams. It's a lot on it. And very few of them can do it all well. Very few of them can do it all well. I thought Noah would be a great head coach. I had an opportunity if he had him a Michael Irvin. He was trying to get him a Michael Irvin with the guys he brought in, but he never did because he had such a big timing offense. But Noah was a special dude. Now, I forgot, why did you ask me this question to draw a comparison to Kyle?
Yeah, because a lot of people have compared Kyle to Norv, and Norv had so much success as an offensive coach and was hailed as a genius, but then, outside of 1 year in San Diego, he really kind of struggled as a head coach.
Right. But then Norv never got as far as Cal has already gotten twice. So, I mean,
right.
How is that, right? You know what I mean? Cal's gotten championship games and Super Bowls. Well, he's gotten Super Bowls a couple times. He got did it as a coordinator, of course, but I'm talking about as a head coach.
Right.
So you know what I mean? And I thought, and I do too, I think Noah certainly could have been a great head coach. Did he really ever have his quarterback? Outside of Troy Aikman, I would have liked to have his quarterback that fit his skill set. Now, Phillip Rivers, that fit his skill set and what he was trying to do at the time, what we were doing in Dallas.
Everybody's looking for a Michael Irvin. Luckily, our Michael Irvin is the Michael Irvin, which means our Michael Irvin is better than most. That's for sure. What are you gassing up here? Like, what's Michael Irvin pulling up to gas up at this station?
Well, okay, I just landed from New York, right? So I landed from New York, but I have a dinner meeting with some business partners that I have to go to. So I land, my car will pick me up. My driver will pick me up. I will have my brother meet me with the G-Wagon, and I took the G-Wagon and got to the gas station, gassed up. Now I'll go to the dinner.
Nice. Now, do you make your brother drive for you too?
No. No, let me tell you what. Now. And one time, let me tell y'all, dude. One time I did try. I gave my brother a job. His job was his only job. His only job now. And just to pick me up and drive me to the station. This is when I was doing an everyday radio station. So because I wanted, and it was about a 40-minute drive, so I wanted to get some work time in. So I said, okay, I'm all right. You just drive me and pick me up. Man, this joke, he did it for about the first week. And the second week, I'm sitting up, man, I almost missed my show waiting on that joke. I said, okay, yes, I can't give him this kind of a job. I'm trying to give him something to get him going. I said, it can't be a job that requires some real responsibilities that can mess with everything, but yeah, so it was funny, man. I did give him that job.
That's great. Here, I got to let you go with this only because it turned into a story this week that Daniel Snyder says he's got, enough to blackmail other NFL owners, with Jerry Jones maybe even being at the top of that list. At what point does Jerry Jones have Daniel Snyder killed?
I know. And look how quick we laugh about it. But boy, it's old saying. Somebody says sometimes, they say, I'm joking. but you know, I ain't lying. I'm joking, but I ain't lying. You know? So we joke about it, but that is something, man. And I'm sure all of them know something about all of them.
Right.
It's just where would they really go with it and tear down or try to tear down. And I heard him say, rock the NFL. I don't know if you can rock the NFL. And you know what I mean? Yeah, it'll be bad, black eye and everything. I'm talking about, I just don't know if people are going to start watching the game.
Nothing makes us turn out. People will complain about the quarterback who suffered a concussion that has scared America, and they'll complain about it, and they won't even think of turning the game off, not for a second.
Right. But let me help with this too, because when we get those old bad calls that everybody goes crazy about, and I was like, I'm kind of with them protecting the quarterback. I said, Michael, what do you mean, Michael? It was a bad quarterback. I said, yes, it was a bad call. You're right. But let me just say this: if they don't protect the quarterback, all the football we're going to have is the football we had last Thursday night. That should be reason enough to protect the quarterback. That was the worst thing I'd ever seen on TV last Thursday night. I don't want to.
That was really, really bad. Michael, I got to ask you one question I've been waiting years to ask you. When Jimmy rode off and Jimmy and Jerry couldn't get along, and you guys already had the 2 rings, and eventually you got the one more with Switzer. If that had not happened and Jimmy just stayed and somehow you guys just kept doing your thing, I know the cap came and that's a big factor as well, but how many rings do you think you guys could have won together if Jimmy had stayed?
Not one meal. Not one meal. Not one meal. Not one gathering. Not one conversation. Not one time that we are around each other that we don't say that and ask ourselves those same questions. I'm talking like Jimmy included.
Yeah.
And I just saw Jimmy at the anniversary in Miami last weekend when we were celebrating our 35th championship year anniversary. 35 years. I love college 35 years ago. I said, why would y'all want to remind people of this? Why would y'all want to remind people that they're this old, that we left school 35 years ago? You know, it's amazing. But it's crazy.
They would have won a little more, that's for sure.
We would have won a little more. We talk about we would have definitely won those 3 in a row and possibly 5 or 6. And even more so now, honestly, you want it even much more because now you see what other people have come after you and done.
Sure.
Like the Patriots, but you can't go back.
You're the man. Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you for joining us. He's still running away from defenders. He's got people coming up to him in the gas station. He's warding them off, little hand checking. He stays open all the time. Michael, thank you.
Beam, I wish I would have had the gall. Or like I said, you could change that letter if you want to say what I was thinking last week. I really do, because I don't know why I was just worried about it, man. I had a gut about it, and then while I'm watching that game, I said I should have said it. You know what I mean? We'd have just discussed it, but I should have said it, and maybe we could have set them on a worry. Like, hey, I better watch out. I don't know, but I thought about it.
There you go. Whenever you got to put us on red alert, you never hesitate.
Yeah, I should have just done that. That's right. I should have done.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Michael.
You're the man. He is fantastic. Michael Irvin for his weekly conversation here. Somebody, 707, said, could you drop Kyle's fourth quarter stats when trailing on the playmaker? He'll lose his mind. It's not good. Kyle has never won a game as a head coach trailing by 4 or more points after the third quarter.
That's crazy.
That is insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. And I don't know what it means. I don't know who's responsible. I don't know what connection of events tie that together with a proper evaluation of who this guy is. But
they came back against Green Bay. They came back against some teams. But
right. Look, the Niners are constantly unimpressive in opening drives, in first quarters, in third quarters, and Kyle is getting skinned alive by other teams in third quarters. they're adjusting to him to the point where they're all over him, and he's not making the adjustments that are supposed to be attached to the label of coaching genius that precedes Kyle. Again, the label of coaching genius walks into the room before Kyle does. It's like on the brim of his cap, so it's through the door before he even gets there. And I just don't know how much longer we can just keep that up, as there is no doubt that he is the number one qualified to be the head coach of the 49ers, above and beyond any other candidates, so there's nothing to even talk about. And I think that there's an element of constantly bulletproof around him that maybe has not led to the motivation. You know, Michael's talking about a mad scientist. When's the last time the 49ers ran a play that made you go, God damn, where did that come? Like, I see one of those every time I watch the Buffalo Bills, every time I watch the Kansas City Chiefs. There is one, where did that come from? Every time I watch the Rams, every time I watch the Chargers. Even now, Seattle. Watch a Seattle Seahawks game. They got plays up their sleeves that you don't see anywhere else. And that's with Geno Smith. When's the last time Kyle called a play that made you just go, God damn, he's the right guy?
I loved, and we talked about it with Lowe in the pregame. On a fast surface, you want to take advantage of your fast guys, right? Fast players play fast on fast surfaces. Who's the speed on this offense? Danny Gray.
Haven't seen him yet. I mean, we don't even know that. We got to stop saying that. He's not allowed to play.
Yeah. No, I've seen him at SMU. He was sick this week, so maybe that's why he didn't play. But they took one shot deep to Ray McLeod. He dropped it. But let's not forget what preceded the drop. Ray McLeod had beaten his guy by 2 or 3 steps down the field. How about take 2 or 3 or 4 down the field shots to Ray
McLeod? Right.
We got one. He dropped it.
Right.
That's it.
The minute something doesn't work, it is walked away from, never to be seen again. And look, somebody here from the 661, I don't even know where that is, says, you act like the season is all lost and gone for the Niners 6 weeks into the season. It's about fighting and scrapping and getting key guys back and healthy. And look, I believe all that. And I believe that the 49ers can still win the NFC West. I believe the 49ers will actually go to the playoffs, and I'll even bet you they're going to win a playoff game. But I know how this damn year is going to end, and so do you. It's going to end with not enough in the biggest moment. So when I see moments that are defined by not enough in the moment, to me, it's a harbinger of things to come. And it's starting to become a feature, not a bug, of Kyle Shanahan. That when the chips are down, the gagging happens.
And we already stated, you sound like somebody who maybe just tuned in, the text line person there. We stated off the start that the Niners, what happened yesterday does not impact their playoff race. It's not going to impact their season necessarily. They're still in the driver's seat in the division.
The entire league is 3-3.
Yeah.
The entire league is 3-3.
They got the best run. They got the best point differential in the entire division. They're probably still going to win the division. We're talking about this in the framework of yesterday.
And yesterday wasn't good.
Wasn't that good?
Yesterday was not good. Damon, Larry, he's in for Ray. When we come on back, it is the longest commercial-free segment of your entire afternoon, so stay tuned. Quit complaining about what you do or don't like hearing on this text line. Give us a call, 888-957-9570. We are ready for all comers here on 95.7 The Game, brought to you by Fremont Bank, full-service banking, no compromises.
Your most valuable asset is your time. So why should buying a car eat up your whole day? At BMW of Fairfield, we value your time as much as you do. So once you've decided on your next car and how you want to buy it, we'll have you behind the wheel of your ultimate driving machine and on your way home within 1 hour. There is a better way. Experience it for yourself at BMW of Fairfield. One price, one person, 1 hour.
Cash Creek Casino Resort is the place for the biggest names and the very best in live entertainment. On November 5th, catch multi-Grammy Award winners Train. Then on November 12th and 13th, experience America's Game in person when Wheel of Fortune Live takes the stage. This is your time to cash in at Cash Creek Casino Resort. Find tickets and see our full lineup at cashcreek.com.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with fast speeds and advanced security. Together for just $69.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Or find out how to get up to a $650 prepaid card with a qualifying bundle. Limited time offer, restrictions apply. New 50 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. Requires enrollment in EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most RootMetrics 5G data reliability wins in 1H 2022. Results may vary, not an endorsement.
Everything, our farm, our stand, our pop-up shop, it really all started when we discovered the benefits of local, raw honey for our family.
And then we decided to turn it into a business.
We were looking for something to help us get up and running.
So we got the Chase Business Complete Banking Account.
It's more than a bank account. It comes with Quick Accept, which lets us take card payments anytime, anywhere in the U.S. using the Chase mobile app. Plus, we get same-day deposits at no extra cost. For us, it's more than honey. It's about sharing a little sweetness with the world.
Get the Chase Business Complete Banking Account with the essentials you need to help get your business going. Learn more at chase.com/business-complete-banking. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Quick Accept is not available in U.S. territories. Enrollment required. Usage subject to approval. Same-day deposits available for payments before 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday to Friday. Fees and rates apply for checking and processing. Limitations and restrictions apply. Participants compensated. Merchant services provided by Payment Tech LLC and WePay Inc. Subsidiaries of J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Kirby is your driveway mechanic. They bring the shop to you with brake replacements, oil changes, washes, and so much more. Get $50 off your first oil change with code OIL50 at Kirby.com. That's CURBEE.com and use code OIL50.
Golfers, tee it up this fall at the Golf Mart for big savings. Save up to $150 off on Ping G425 Woods. Upgrade your gear with discounted Wilson standard cart golf bags and stock up on TaylorMade Distance Plus golf balls. Now 2 dozen for $35. Don't miss these items and more happening now at the Golf Mart and get a free custom fitting today. The Golf Mart, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Or shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
California, you deserve more. And with United Healthcare, you'll get more. Annual enrollment is October 15th through December 7th. So call United Healthcare today. With the United Healthcare Medicare Advantage Plan, you get more from your Medicare dollar, now including better than ever dental, vision, over-the-counter, and prescription drug coverage. Call United Healthcare at 1-888-CALL-UHC today and speak with a licensed sales agent. Benefits, features, and/or devices vary by plan and area. Limitations and exclusions apply.
Big O Tires proudly sells its own brand of affordable tires, and each set comes standard with the nation's greatest warranty. Now through October 30th, save $100 instantly on select Big O brand tires with installation purchase. Visit your locally owned Big O Tire store for offer details.
The best part about taking ZQuil Pure Z's Sleep Plus Next Day Energy at night is actually the next morning. I wake up alert with none of the grogginess from taking too much melatonin. Pure Z Sleep Plus Next Day Energy is a bilayer tablet with immediate release melatonin and extended release B vitamins to help me fall asleep naturally and wake refreshed. It's my secret weapon for a great night's sleep and a great morning.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom.
Can't beat that.
ZQuil Pure Z's Gummies. Sleep better, wake your best.
Let me guess. Unknown caller? You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
Now back to Damon and Ratto, brought to you by BMW Fairfield on 95.7 The Game.
It is Damon and Ratto. Larry Krueger in for Ray. I believe Ray's back tomorrow. So thank you so much for all the filling in you're doing this week, last week. Thanks to John Dickinson as well. Look, all I'm going to tell you here is that the 49ers could still do big things this year. But when they don't win the Super Bowl, it'll probably be because of all the little things that we continue to bring up when things go wrong. The 49ers are consistent in how consistently they trip over themselves on the way to finding football success. And somebody says here, 510 says, look, Damon, on the Xfinity mobile text line, the 49ers have a ridiculous amount of injuries. We've had more than a few drops on pass plays, and we lost the battle of turnovers. Name another team that has as many starters as we did out this week and would win. And like clockwork, Damon is all over this with a perverse enjoyment, a doom and gloom. The 49ers will lose next week and still be undefeated in division. We'll get healthy and go on a roll, and we'll be back in the playoffs. I'm so tired of Damon's Henny Penny Shanahan's failing rants. All right, well, hold on. Let me just say, and I could feel you wanting to defend me there.
No, I was going to jump in and say, damn right. Can't stand that guy.
First of all, the Chiefs are already favored to win this game. The Niners are going to be home dogs, and rightfully so. The Kansas City Chiefs aren't a little better. They're officially in the category of much better than the San Francisco 49ers. Not to be debated. You're not paying attention if you do want to debate that. Number two, the same ridiculous amount of injuries is a hallmark of every single one of Kyle Shanahan's freaking teams. They're always hurt. I've never seen a year in, year out, week in, week out, game in, game out, more hurt, more limping, more going on the IR, more needing an MRI, more concussion protocol football team than this one. Is it Kyle's fault? I don't know. But he's correlated between all of these problems. And in terms of, we dropped a few balls on pass plays, that's literally the defining feature of every single game that Kyle has ever coached that's been a big football game. The dropped pass, the dropped ball, the dropped interception, the one thing that didn't go your way, overthrowing Emmanuel Sanders. It's the same problems all the time. All the time. And when you have a head coach that can't correct the all the same time problems, who, by the way, and then you wrap up with and here's Damon talking about how Kyle Shanahan's failing. He does have a losing record. He does. Forget about my opinion. To call Kyle Shanahan a head coach, a winning head coach, would be a lie. That's not because we don't like him. It's not because I don't think he's good at what he does. He's under 500. Full stop. He's 42 and 45. 6 years. This guy's coached 87 49er games. He's not a winning record. He's never been over 500 for a day since becoming head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. So, at one point in time, it's going to have to work out. One point in time, in order to be as good as everyone claims him to be, you win the Super Bowl. You end the year with a winning record. And then the next year was a winning record. And then the year after that was a winning record. Look at Mike Tomlin. Does anyone in Pittsburgh talk about, the Super Bowl that he even won? No, they don't even talk about that because you almost got to be stupid lucky to do that. Consistently, he's never had a losing season. This is going to be his first ever losing season as a head coach. That's what competency looks like. That's what real, I don't know what to tell you. The 49ers, pretty much since the second year of Shanahan, have been loaded to bear with talent that he picked. And maybe as a GM, he'd be really good at that. Maybe as an offensive coordinator, he'd be really good at that. Maybe just as a head coach, he'd be really good at that. But combining all three things for Kyle, it ain't working.
And, losing football, this is what losing football looks like. Penalties, turnovers, injuries. These are just the basics of, that's the common denominator of losing football. So it doesn't really, at the end of the day, yeah, you can come up with an excuse for everything. You can excuse everything. But he's the offensive coach. This team doesn't have a dominant offense and loses because of their D. They've got a dominant defense and they lose because of their O. So,
look, D'Amico Ryans found, like I said, D'Amico Ryans finds a way. D'Amico Ryans finds a way. Robert Saleh found a way. Every single year Kyle's been here, his defense has carried him everywhere he's gone, all the time. I don't look at it this way. If you're telling me right now, at the end of this year, you can only retain Kyle Shanahan or D'Amico Ryans, Team D'Amico it is.
See, I personally think that D'Amico's success is kind of like Saleh's success. He's got incredible talent. So I'm not saying that D'Amico's not good, and I wouldn't argue that Saleh's not good, but they have incredible talent on defense, incredible depth, incredible talent on all three levels of their defense. Not that D'Amico's not a good coach. But Saleh got great numbers when he had great talent, and he got lesser numbers when his talent wasn't as good. My whole thing with Shanahan at this point is look at your teams. They're not dominant offensively. I can't remember the Buddy Ryan teams that were bad on D. I can't remember the Andy Reid teams that were bad on offense. The assumed part is that you have Kyle Shanahan.
But the only time you saw a bad Andy Reid offense is when you had a quarterback who literally wouldn't even throw a ball to a wide receiver. That's it. And that was still a very functioning, competent offense, but it just became predictable.
Team.
Yeah, just became predictable because, the old Alex Smith joke is, what do you call 3 straight Alex Smith completions? 4th and 2.
Yeah. No, but just ultimately, it's the buck stops with Shanahan. He's been there a long time, and he's gotten some good success.
You can't be in charge of everything in year 6 of being in charge of everything and us be blaming circumstances anymore. Okay, so you wanted to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. Well, you had the chance to do that, but you didn't. You wanted to move on to the rookie. You had 2 years to do that, but you didn't. It's just stuck in mud. It's the same thing. It's the same game. It's losing the same way. It's winning the same way. It's the same crap all the time. Sometimes it's pretty good. You can stack it high and you say, that was a good day. Other times you say, hey, you're down 14 points. And Kyle's not even going to go no huddle. I don't understand how you can be an offensive anything. I don't understand how you could even play me in Madden if you don't know when it's time to go no huddle. And Kyle said, well, he didn't want to get scared. They didn't want to panic. This is what Kyle Shanahan said as to why the team wasn't acting more urgently in a fourth quarter down 14 points.
I just knew we had 2 more times with the ball.
No, you didn't.
And we did do a number of no-huddle plays.
No, you didn't.
We also mixed it up not doing it, too.
Shouldn't have.
So we did both. The key is that you can't come up short on that. Expect the ball to get the ball twice. And we're not going to panic when we feel like we have 2 more
all your
possessions,
routes are short.
especially with 3
Everything's short.
timeouts. But when you don't score on that and it came up, was it the 4th and 1 on that drive? Can't remember. But that definitely backfires when you don't score on one of them.
And you're right, Larry. At least he doesn't say, I got to watch the tape. At least he's got that.
There's just so many things you can point to. As far as the 4th and 1, it was actually 3rd and 1 until you threw the halfback tossed in there to Tevin Coleman.
He made it 4th and 2.
And then made it 4th and 2. But, ultimately, there were 10 minutes left. If you had moved quickly, you potentially could have had a second drive. But the way it worked out, you got the ball back with 1:03 left. So, and you still needed 2 scores. They're just, what can you point to? What else does Kyle need? Does he need a dominant run game? Does he need a dominant defense? Does he need,
here's the thing. So you
stars
need
everywhere? He's got a star left tackle. He's got a star wide receiver, 2 of them. He's got a star tight end. Make
a trade for Christian McCaffrey.
He got multiple quarterbacks.
Trade for Christian McCaffrey. Deshaun Jackson is working out for the Baltimore Ravens, I believe, this week. Deshaun Jackson, if nothing else, is a go route.
Right, vertical.
Get a guy who can run a go route. Well, you drafted a guy who can run a go route, but you won't play him. So, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what is wrong with the 49ers. But
they don't run it well anymore. Not with any consistency.
And you could say maybe that's, the churn at offensive line, and I would believe you a little bit. And, Elijah Mitchell's gone, but Elijah Mitchell had yet to establish himself as a, multiple-year Pro Bowler. He had a really good rookie year. And his subtraction from the running game shouldn't be that much of a setback from the running game when we talked about how deep this team was. And Ty Davis Price. Did Ty Davis Price get a touch yesterday? I mean,
no, yeah, he played one game and one play, I think, at a snap as a fullback.
Jordan Montgomery get a touch yesterday.
The big issue is the -3 turnovers obviously hurts, but 14 runs and 40 passes when you have 7 starters off your D. That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
And people say, well, they fell into a hole. Yeah, but they quickly got out of it. It was 14-14 almost as quickly as it was 14-0. So the game was tied, but what happened to the run game? I mean, why would you run so little and pass so frequently when you had a tie football game and you're down 6 or 7 starters on your defense? They just kind of played into Arthur Smith's hands, and they made it very easy for Smith.
I mean, everything is a screen pass. Everything is behind or at the line of scrimmage. And if it's not, it's a incomplete pass way downfield, and all the intermediary stuff doesn't even exist. It's all in between the numbers, and it's all 8 yards out or underneath, all of it. And it just, I don't think that is a sustainable way to go about ending your year with that. I mean, how about this? Could you even suggest you're anything more than a Deebo Samuel injury away from missing the playoffs? That's it. I mean, Deebo Samuel goes down. Goodbye. That's it right there. That is it right there.
Or Ayuk, because then if you take out Ayuk, then they're doubling Deebo.
But then at the same time, Kyle Shanahan's going to take out either, Deebo or Ayuk or Kittle just by not throwing him the ball half after half after half. It's just so odd at times the way that this team doesn't distribute the ball to their best playmakers. By the way, welcome to your 5 o'clock hour.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on Twitch, YouTube, and the free Odyssey app. Damn well better be free.
Deebo Samuel, 2 catches, 21 yards, 0 carries in the first half. Like you're down 14-0. Like, get a little urgent right there. Get it back right there. I'll tell you, Deebo,
and not only that,
Ayuk had a good game. Ayuk probably played the best game of his entire career.
Yeah. Also, you're going up against a team that has a very young secondary, and you get
giving it up.
You get Ray McLeod down the field wide open. He drops the ball. You never go back to that again. Never again. I mean, come on. It's still a young secondary. You still got a mismatch. Speed-wise, McLeod is your only deep threat, and he got in the clear, and he dropped it, and you don't go back to him and give him a second go at it? I mean, that to me was inexcusable. The
Chiefs are going to be rolling in here with 2 rookies playing corner. Watch Kyle not push the ball downfield because he's so worried about the turnovers that whether you push the ball downfield or not seem to come anyways. I mean, look, Kyle Shanahan, for being conservative head coach, wants to run the ball and dominate time of possession and not throw it very much with Jimmy, who he doesn't trust to make the right play or the right read or whatever. They've got the second most turnovers in the NFL since Kyle Shanahan became head coach.
Tons of turnovers, tons of injuries, tons of penalties.
All the time. All the time. Yeah. I mean, at what point do we collectively say Kyle has a better reputation than record?
They have to be significantly better than their opponent to win every week, to compensate for the turnovers, the penalties.
If everything goes perfect, I love the Niners in that football game. That's a hard variable to control. Everything went perfect, and we won.
Do you trade for Christian McCaffrey?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't even told you what the price tag is. You just theoretically, you're just saying that. I agree because I think they look at their weapons. If you want to change a football team fast, change the people who touch the football. Jeff Wilson, love him, tough guy, but he should be a change of pace. Who's the dynamic back there? They don't have a dynamic back
Imagine
right
if
now.
Christian McCaffrey caught the 4 balls that were thrown to Kyle Juszczyk yesterday.
Right. At least the one thing about McCaffrey is, he could be hurt. He could be another guy who's hurt. But at least he's dynamic, right? I mean, he's dynamic. How did the Rams win the Super Bowl last year? They had OBJ, and they had Cooper Kupp, and they had Matthew Stafford, and they had some dynamic guys who touched the football. If you want to win the Super Bowl, you might want to copy the Rams and go all in. And you got this far. You traded a bunch of draft capital to get your quarterback of the future. It hasn't worked out to date because of the injuries. Go that extra mile. Go get a McCaffrey. It's probably going to cost you a second-round pick. Might cost you more than that. Do it.
2 fastest players he's ever had have been the best players I think he's ever gotten the most out of, and they were Raheem Mostert and Breida. I mean, guys didn't last very long. You know, you get hurt in this league, and you lose a little step when your entire game's built around speed. You're not who you used to be. But dynamic, Raheem Mostert.
You're leaning on Tevin Coleman, who's out of the league 3 weeks ago, and JaMychal Hasty just busted a run yesterday for like 65 yards or something. I mean, he was dynamic, and you cut him loose. You had a dynamic player there, and you let him out of the building because you had too many numbers. You chose other guys. Their offense lacks dynamic playmakers, and so if they do get into a hole and they're down 2 touchdowns, they can't play fast. It's like they can't score fast. You even heard the announcers. Mark Schlereth was saying it. Well, the 49ers keep, kind of moving, slow here. They don't have big chunk play ability because they don't have Danny Gray's hurt, and they tried one pass down the field to their chunk yardage receiver, Ray McCloud. He dropped it, and that was enough to scare everybody away.
They didn't go back to it. They didn't go back to it again because it wasn't perfect. So we're going to have to put that away. And the 49ers, I think, are going to have a fine year. I think they're going to probably win 10 games. Pardon me. I think they're a playoff team.
You think they win 10 games? I think it's going to be difficult to win 10 games.
Well,
I'm thinking 9-8.
Well, it might be 9-8. This Kansas City game is probably a really big turn in the road in terms of what their season could actually look like. So they're sitting at 3-3, and they've got 3 true road games left and a game in Mexico City. They've got 7 home games left?
Yeah,
7 home games.
They're better on the road, though.
But if they go 6-1 at home, with the one loss being to Kansas City this week, and then don't lose there again, they will have taken care of business in their division, and that, I think, leaves them in a good shape. But the best thing that the 49ers have going for them right now is that the Packers aren't very good. They lost at home to the Jets. Tampa Bay lost at home to the Steelers. The Cowboys fell at the Eagles. There is one 6-0 team in the NFL. It's in the NFC, and basically everybody else after that is 3-3.
Also, Arizona's just lost Hollywood Brown, looks like, for the year, and also I think...
But they made a trade, and they're also going to get DeAndre Hopkins back, and I just saw a story that Cliff Kingsbury will give up play-calling duties if it's the right thing to do. What do you think, Kyle Shanahan?
Yeah.
Do you think Kyle Shanahan would ever give up play-calling duties?
Hollywood Brown, by the way, they're saying 6 weeks. 6 weeks. And also Cam Akers. You saw that weird story. Cam Akers and Sean McVay are not getting along. So the Rams are thin. Arizona's a circus. Tampa's got a 45-year-old quarterback, and they're struggling to win games.
It's at the point, Larry, where you might have to worry about Seattle stealing this division.
Yeah. I mean, that is unbelievable. Geno Smith. But look at, as far as Super Bowl contenders in the conference, you saw them last night. Dallas and Philly. Dallas has got a nice D-line. Philly's got a nice D-line and a nice O-line and some weapons. Philly looks like the road to the Super Bowl in the NFC goes through the link.
It really does. It really does right now. They look tough to beat, tough to match. They're tough to practice for. It's kind of like Air Force. How do you get ready for Air Force? Your scout team doesn't even know how to give you good looks of what Air Force does. No team in football runs Philadelphia's offense.
Yeah.
Not one. So they're tough to prepare for. And again, I think that one of the biggest problems that the 49ers now have to admit is maybe a reality for them is that the league is caught up with all the little wrinkles that made Kyle's running game separate itself from the rest of the league. Atlanta did what it wanted to do yesterday in its running game. And I didn't see many wrinkles or eye candy or motion. They just had...
Very workmanlike, very patient.
Absolutely, just make a hole, hit a hole. That's what it was. It was high school level football that brought down the Niners yesterday. I mean, they basically Delaware wing teed you.
I actually think that yesterday was a great glimpse at what the 49er run game could look like, let's say a year from now, 2 years from now with Trey Lance. Because if Trey Lance could run the same kinds of plays that Mariota ran, and, at least you have to account for him in the run game.
Well, and Mariota,
I think that opens up the run lanes. I think you saw it yesterday.
He knows how to pick up chunk plays by running to daylight without risking dramatic injury.
Right, outside the tackle box.
Just that simple. Find daylight, run to daylight, get out of bounds, or get down on the ground and slide and avoid contact. And yesterday, Mariota ran for 50 yards and a touchdown. He ran 6 times and was 13 of his first 13 passes. He finished the day 13 of 14, 129 yards and 2 touchdowns. He got sacked twice. Again, the 49ers just got dominated by a guy who threw for 129 yards.
Amazing. The biggest play in the game, I thought, was Niners tied the game, right? It's 14-14, the second touchdown to Ayuk.
Right.
Falcons get the ball back on their own 25-yard line. Menahue has a huge sack on the 1st and 10 play from the 40.
He's one of their 10 best players.
Menahue looks great. Yeah, he's lost weight. He's 260. He's flying off the edge. So it gets to a 3rd and 13, and D'Amico sends Greenlaw and Hufanga on a blitz, from what I could tell, and Mariota read it. They were both coming off the edge, and he went right up the gut. And with everybody playing man coverage and their backs turned, he rumbled for 17 yards.
Big third down.
Down, cross midfield. And ultimately, that drive continued. That was a huge play. If the Niners get it turned over there, they get the ball back with a couple minutes left, and they probably score going into the break, and they get the ball coming out of the half, and the game changes. Instead, Falcons go 1st and 10. They continue the drive. Eventually, Mariota would fake out Samuel Womack on the 3-yard bootleg run, and it's 21-14.
Womack got beat bad in the end zone twice. Once by Mariota, and then by Kyle Pitts.
Yeah,
who just
he peeked into the backfield, as the announcer said, and that was right. Schlereth was dead right. In that area of the field, you don't have time to peek into the backfield. He did, so he trailed it, and that's it. There was no recovering. But yeah, I mean, if that made it 21-14. Falcons, the Niners, when they did get the ball back, there was like 50 seconds left, and then of course the half ended on the Isaiah Oliver interception. I don't even blame really Garoppolo for the 2 picks. One got tipped. The Isaiah Oliver one was just, hey, there's 9 seconds left. Let's take a shot down the field, and if we don't get it, it's halftime. So, I don't blame them there.
Here's the deal: you can't.
But, that was a huge that run by Mariota was huge,
and you can't,
absolutely huge.
You can't go about throwing away Sundays where Jimmy gives you a good game. I mean, that's the thing, because Jimmy's going to give you not good performances on Sundays, and you're still going to try to win those games. On a game where he does play well, you lose that one, you really blew an opportunity. And yesterday, the Niners blew it. This is Rich in Fremont. Rich, you're on 95.7 The Game.
Hey, guys, thanks for taking my call. I got one question for the both of you regarding that game. What was that? Oh, my God. What was that? What was that?
It was non-competitive at the end. I mean, they did not go fast enough on their 9th drive to even give themselves a chance to win. That's my biggest beef. Everything else, defensive injuries, drops, you got mental mistakes, you got physical mistakes, but the one thing that's just inexcusable is that they went way too slow. They didn't play with urgency on that 9th drive, and it basically, they got stopped on downs, but they stopped themselves before they got stopped on downs.
But my point being is this, and I don't know, guys, you help me with this. I think that Kyle Shanahan's biggest problem as a head coach for San Francisco is that he just doesn't know how to seize the moment. We've seen this movie over and over and over again. It's like every time he's in a situation where he can use something to seize the moment, he just doesn't.
Yeah, no, He doesn't have a group of plays that he calls kill shots, and he's ready to go for them. He never really slays the beast, and I think that's a fair criticism. It really is, and to me, it's not just a moment, meaning like one particular moment. Every NFL game turns on 4 plays, and this is one of those plays. It's not even that rich. 16-play, 80-yard, 8-minute, and 8-second drive, down 14.
Huddling a dozen times.
Even if you had scored, you blew it.
Right.
Even if you had punched pay dirt, you blew it. How long it took you to get there. And if you only have one speed, you're not dynamic. You're not... there's no ingenuity to it. There is one way Kyle knows how to win a game, and it's slowly with the lead. And yesterday, he played slowly in a 2-touchdown deficit, which is a great way to bring the Falcons to the win column. He did more to coach the Falcons to victory in that fourth quarter than he did the Niners.
Where's their quick strike ability? Do they have quick strike ability?
They do not have quick strike ability beyond broken plays.
Right. Or defensive play. Their best quick strike ability is a pick 6.
Right. And unfortunately, ACL gone for the year, Emmanuel Mosley.
Yeah.
But by the way, Talanoa Hufanga is in concussion protocols now. There's a little treat from today because he got pulled off the field by the spotter or whatever. They gave him the test. He passed it. He passed the first 2 tests. You get another. If you get concussed on Sunday, your final concussion protocol is always given to you Monday, and apparently that's the protocol test that Talanoa Hufanga failed. Here was Kyle Shanahan on today's conference call.
I think it was real early in the game because we took him into the tent early. I know that. He passed it then. He passed one after the game, but then there's always a third one the day after a game, and he came in with some symptoms today, so that's why he's in it.
Look, the best thing, the only real shot that the Niners have against the rest of the NFL to be great is simply this. The Niners are really banged up right now, and they live in the land of good. When they get healthy, if this year really is a week-to-week return of a Pro Bowl level player, and you're telling me that they end the year more healthy than they began the year, yeah, that would be a great way for things to turn around and go right for the 49ers. But beyond that, if you don't get much healthier, if you lose 1 or 2 more key pieces, and then, God forbid, find yourself in a game where you got to play from behind or put up big points to even stay in it, that's when you're in trouble again. Asked if Bosa, Trent Williams could be ready for Kansas City, Kyle said,
a lot better than last week. I'm really hoping for it. I think there's a decent chance.
All right. Well, if you can get both back, it will go a long way to helping you lose by only 10.
Where's Mooney Ward? He didn't play in the second half yesterday with a groin injury.
Right.
So that's a big one, too.
Very big, especially coming up against Kansas City, who, again, coming off a loss, is going to be coming in with the fury.
Why? Because there's only one team that gets that bye in the playoffs, and they're right there battling Buffalo. I mean, if they don't get the bye, I mean, well, think about it. It's maybe the biggest thing of the year. Kansas City's going to come in absolutely sky high. Why? Because they just lost to Buffalo. If they get to play the Bills in the AFC Championship game in Buffalo, as opposed to Arrowhead, night and day. Night and day as far as their chances of going to the Super Bowl, and they know it. So they're gonna show up Sunday just absolutely on fire.
Look, we got some serious developments in Major League Baseball's postseason that we need to talk about, and a little something called the Golden State Warriors tip-off tomorrow, starting their NBA season in the defense of their title. We need to talk about some deals that got done, extensions that were signed over the weekend. So we're about to get to all of that. But real quick, our final call on the Niners for today, Robin, San Francisco. Hello, Robin.
Hey, Damon.
You know what? You are hella funny. You crack me up. You said only if they could lose my kids. Boy, I caught that. I don't know if anybody else caught that. Listen, I want to ask you guys a question. It actually came from the Simon show. What is it that you think, and Larry too, that why Cal can't get, if he's got all these alleged weapons, what is it about his offense that he can't get the best out of them? Similar to when Mark Jackson couldn't get the best out of his offense with the two best shooters, and he's supposed to be an offensive genius. Do you think maybe it's because he doesn't speak to his players' talents, even though he's allegedly supposed to?
Well, hold on, Robin. I really don't know other than this. I feel like the league is caught up to Kyle. I think that the league has been studying Shanahan so hard that he doesn't surprise anyone. And as you were saying, Larry, his offensive prowess is built on surprises. You thought you were going to get a running play. We hit you with a play action. We got you. You thought this was going to be a passing down. We ran the ball at you. We caught you off guard. We got you. I think the league is all over the tendencies of Kyle Shanahan. And in a saying that you put on the air that I will keep returning to, try to dazzle Ray with it tomorrow because there's no way he's listening. I really do believe you are on the money when you say that the 49ers are just, they're offensively, they're not the sum of their total parts. They underachieve collectively, individually, fascinating pieces. Individually, there's Pro Bowlers everywhere. You put them together, you get less out of them than you thought you would. All the time.
The pieces don't fit right now. You have Garoppolo, who struggles to throw the deep ball. You have not enough space on the field, so you have Shanahan wanting to call deep passing plays, but he doesn't really have receivers to do it. So he's got Danny Gray and Ray McLeod that can get deep.
Right. One guy's not allowed to play football.
One guy is not on the field. The other guy doesn't have great hands and fumbles a lot. By the way, Niner fans aren't even privy to that yet, but he fumbled 6 times last year. Wait for Ray McLeod to fumble.
Right. Wait until special teams becomes a problem.
Yeah, exactly. Ray McLeod's fumbling is going to be an issue at some point this year. But he doesn't have, so you have Kyle who wants to call plays down the field if he can to open up the space for his underneath passing game, but he doesn't have the receivers really to do it, doesn't have the quarterback to do it. Now he doesn't have Trent Williams or McGlinchey to really drop back and give his receivers time to free themselves open down the field. So you got pieces that, you don't have the tackles to protect on the deep ball, but you need to throw the deep ball because you need to create that space. So you're going to try it. So see what I'm saying? You got pieces that don't really mesh together.
But he picked all the pieces.
Right.
That's the thing. Every single decision is a Kyle Shanahan decision. This is the grand division. What you're looking at is supposed to be apex of my idea predator. And you can see that the 49ers are a good football team, but they're not one of the NFL's apex predators. Not at this point in time. They're not. They're good. They're good. They've also got gonna lose on the road in the postseason written all over them. They do.
So they've got issues and then they've got injuries. And the combination is rough. And then you got the Chiefs looming, and the schedule doesn't get a whole lot easier after that. So, this is going to be a battle. But I'll say this, you can't look at the schedule and say win, loss, because it just doesn't work that way. We all would have put this Falcons game down as a win, and I don't think, I heard somebody say yesterday to me, hey, if the Niners played the Falcons 10 times, they would have beat them 9. That's crap. That's not true at all. I think they would have been 5-5. They played 10 times, they win 5, they lose 5.
Right. In what scenario of football does Kyle walk away with the winning record? Because it hasn't happened yet. So stop telling me about his 90% winning percentage over anyone other than Sean McVay.
Right. He owns McVay.
Except in the biggest game he's ever played against them or ever conceivably could.
Right. And even then, biggest game ever, Super Bowl on the line, 2 offensive drives, no first downs.
Kyle Shanahan's teams have never won a game that they have trailed by 4 or more points going into the fourth quarter.
It's an amazing stat.
That's an indictment on something here isn't working. I don't know what it is. I mean, if I could just point it out and tell you, I'd be like, you know what? You need to hire me to be your Jack Easterby. You can call me your team chaplain. I'll come in here and I'll just do my Rasputin Svengali over you and wave my magic wand, and it'll all be better. I don't know what it is. By the way, Jack Easterby is available. Did you see that he got let go by the Texans front office in the early days of there's nothing to talk about in sports of the pandemic? Jack Easterby was a huge part of the show by why is Houston hiring him? He is the executive vice president of football operations. He was brought in back in 2019 to varying degrees of criticism and just wondering, why did he get there? He had spent 6 years before as the Patriots character coach. Obviously, that didn't have a very big impact on Deshaun Watson, who was getting rubbing tugs as often as he was waking up in the morning. And he's got this really weird, divisive, snake-like, Bible-thumping, sneaky youth pastor vibe about him. Like, a lot of people just don't like him. It's just the truth. It's coming out of Houston. Like, read John McClain. Everyone was like, yeah, everyone kind of thought, ugh, he's just weird. And he was involved in everything. Even though he hired, Nick Caserio to be their new GM, he would still call other teams acting as Texans GM.
Are you trying to say, and like that, he was gone?
He was, dude, but seriously, he was like the Rasputin of the NFL. You had certain camps think this guy's an absolute nut job. You had other people think like, oh my God, he's the puppet master that controls it all. Like, I mean, he is a really, really weird case. And he's out of Houston, and he's probably not going to get another NFL job. So we don't need to worry about him anymore, but I'll have to bring that up with Ray because he is a Jack Easterbyologist and will want to continue to study the future of him. Anyways, how about the future of the Golden State Warriors? They certainly went ahead and secured the future of two players, and it's
just some money this weekend.
And they made their intentions clear, Larry. I think even more than the money they spent on the players that they spent it on, the money that didn't go to one other player was just allowed a message as what they did to lock up both Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins. Jordan Poole signs a 4-year, $123 million contract extension that can grow to $140 with incentives. Probably a little bit of an overpay.
I thought that was my first reaction. $35 million a year for Jordan Poole? Really?
Probably a little bit of an overpay, but to keep him and to keep him happy after such a weird week, I'm glad that they did it. There's really not another player in that franchise right now that you could say could give you a replication of what Steph Curry or Klay Thompson could give you. He is a supreme scoring guard in a league where you need more than just two of those. I get why they did it, and he's theirs. He's homegrown. They like him very much. Andrew Wiggins, 4 years, $109 million. He is going to be under market value from here on out every year of his career, and that is a great number for the Warriors. You're telling me you get Wiggins for north or south of $30 million and an exploding cap number in the next couple of years? That
guy rebounded his ass off in the finals, and they cut his pay?
Well, here's the deal,
they did cut his pay.
We
Did you see what his pay cut was? $33 million, $33.6 million this last year, 24.3 is what his first year on the extension will be.
But here's the thing. Everyone would say about Andrew Wiggins, like he was way overpaid. Now you can say he's even underpaid, and that's not bad. That's not bad for Andrew Wiggins for sure.
It's a great. I thought it was a screaming deal, actually.
If he does rebound, I know like last week we were saying, like, who's that player who's going to make a difference for the Warriors this year? If Andrew Wiggins plays like NBA Finals Andrew Wiggins, rebounds and defends like NBA Finals Andrew Wiggins through the regular season, that's your 1 seed. That's how you get to 60 wins without even trying.
That is so exciting when you think about it. If Wiggins can do in the regular season, even approach the level of tenacity he showed in the finals as a rebounder, wow. I mean, seriously. I mean, that I think he reached a new plateau there, Damon. If he can replicate that in the regular season or anything close to it, if he's that level of a rebounder, watch out.
Somebody here is saying, Damon, it's 140. It's not 140. It's 123. Most of the incentives are not going to happen. Please do your homework.
No, right, but it could be up
but
to 140.
But it could be 140, which is why I said 123 with incentives to get it to 140. To give you the clearest picture ever, there's a reason why you're in the audience, and they let me hold the microphone. Just sit there, shut up, you'll learn something today.
Either way, it's 30 or 35. It's still, I think, kind of an overpay. But you know what? You're overpaying him for a number of reasons. You kind of stated one of them. He's a homegrown guy. He fits perfect. He's your hardest worker. Oh, by the way, he got dropped at practice the other day. All these factors, I think, have something to do with that overpay.
Well, and you're buying out free agency. Is basically what you're doing. You're saying, look, man,
it's not a huge overpay. It's just a slight overpay.
It's a slight overpay, which when you compound all the luxury tax, if the Warriors were to enter yet another contract with Draymond Green, now you got a luxury tax bill that is approaching $500 million. A Warrior, not just for the luxury tax bill, but for the whole team. It would be you're spending about $500 million on your roster.
Well, so, it is $50 for a couple of tall boy beers at the game. So,
absolutely, it's it's never going to be cheaper,
right?
Okay, Draymond Green has 82 or 164 games remaining with this franchise in the regular season. One of the things that we can pretty much draw a conclusive line right through the Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins contract extensions is to Draymond Green and his number being up now. That's just the way it is. Draymond Green, maybe the decision was actually made 2 Wednesdays ago by Draymond's right hand, and that helped the Warriors through this, but the Warriors have made their choice. It was, we get to keep 2 of these 3 players. Whom do you think it will be? The guy who's got, his face being etched into the statue one day, or the other guy who got here and was huge in the NBA Finals, and then the guy that we're developing to maybe be, a huge name in this backcourt eventually when big names in this backcourt start to fall off.
But you don't know exactly. First of all, I expect him to opt in on the player option for $27 million.
I think he's got 164 games left with the Warriors.
So you're giving him this year, next year, but a lot can happen, and you're assuming that Draymond, because I believe he stated that he'd like the max, that he's got a team out there that's going to give him the max. I don't know that that's the case. He may just have to take a lot less money to stick around, and he may opt to stick around. I don't think the Warriors have made that call. I don't think Draymond's made that call. I know the handwriting's on the wall. And it's going to end eventually at some point, whether it be 2 years from now, 3 years from now.
No, I'm telling you, it's going to end 2 years from now.
You're sure?
Yes.
But you're sure because you know that he wants the max and that they're not going to pay him the max. But what if his sights?
Here's the thing.
What if his sights are lowered?
We're going to be so
maybe
far
he wants to go the distance
past apex, like apex Draymond. Of the 164 games he actually has left, maybe he plays 82 of them. This is a guy with diminishing returns value, and the love now, I believe, lives somewhere else. Draymond.
What if they win 2 titles?
If they win the next 2 titles,
and he's key.
Again, I guess then with nothing but raining victory all over me, things might change a little.
Okay, well, it's possible, right? Because they're going to be favored to win this year's title and maybe next year's title. And if he plays in the playoffs next year and the year after that, the way he played in the playoffs this year, they probably will have some interest in retaining him, don't you think?
Somebody's saying, Damon, you're totally incorrect. Draymond can opt in for next year. Do you know how many years are covered by 162 games? That would be 2.
2.
He is 100% under contract and playing this year.
Right.
Due to no interest from the rest of the NBA at the dollar amount he's guaranteed should he flex his player option, I believe he will come back for 1 year at, 26, 27?
27.
27. Now, the only thing that would make him opt out would be, hey, the Lakers are going to give you a 3-year, $60 million contract. So you're going to go back to 20 a year, but you get the other 2 years guaranteed to you. So unless another team is willing to make a multiple-year deal that Draymond looks at and says, all right, that's my last best chance to make that kind of money, I think he's 100% opting into his final year with the Warriors, because if they do win another title, he's not going to be stupid. He's not going to walk away from a championship trying to three-peat.
And at this point, he's got all the money he needs. You could make an argument that if he's about I don't know, his place in the game, Damon, that then it's about the Hall and the Hall of Fame, and maybe the Hall of Fame is going to be more predicated on how many rings. I mean, I think he's already there, to be honest. But if you wanted to hold his feet to the fire and say he's not quite there yet, the winning 2 more rings or more than that would clearly get him there. So it really is going to come down to what's his motivation 2 years from now, and what's their motivation. Where's Steph? Where's Clay? Where's Draymond? Where's the team physically? Where's the team on the cap? I mean, there's a lot of factors here. I don't think it's a fait accompli like you do, but I understand what you're saying. You're saying he's going to be here this year. He's going to opt in on his option, and then he'll be bye-bye.
Bob Myers was on with Willard and Dibbs from down at Chase Center today. He was asked about how they decided on Draymond's return to the team after going through all of this. Damon, 164 games, no playoffs. You don't count those yet. You don't count those yet. I mean, I'm sorry. I thought that this audience was off the bunny slope.
You're trying to be clever. Don't be so clever over there.
Jeez. Bob Myers on how they came back to Draymond.
And everybody comes from a different place. Maybe you're the player. Maybe you're a player. Maybe you're Jordan. Maybe you want to use Steph. And everybody has got an opportunity to voice their concerns privately in small groups, to weigh in. We tried not to put any pressure on any decision. We understood that whatever we did would be met with either internal criticism or external, and obviously that happened. We understood that. But you're right. You have to do that and then do what you think is best and understand that there's, whether it's half or more than half or whatever it is that might agree, might disagree, might continue to disagree, might change their opinion in 10 games or 20 games, or say, well, you go back, you shouldn't have done that, you should have done this differently. I accept all that. I never said we were perfect at making these decisions. I don't think anybody is. I'm lucky to work with Steve Kerr, who's got a pretty solid moral compass, played in the NBA, he's been in the NBA for, 30 years, whether it's a GM, broadcaster, or coach. And so we had a lot of conversations, and it was difficult, to be honest. It was very difficult, and it remains something we have to continue to work through.
Look, they're going to get through it. Basketball will come and save the day. Basketball will be the one thing that these guys actually do rally around. Jordan Poole, at his, hey, you just signed your contract extension press conference, basically, he was asked if he and Draymond to get back to, being brothers. And here's Jordan Poole letting you know that ain't the goal anymore.
Yeah, if I said it, I meant it. Like I said, but we're here to play basketball. And our teammates and the coaching staff and the organization, everybody knows what it takes to win championship, and when we get out there on that court, we got one common goal, for 48 plus minutes, get the job done, win as many games as we can, and, try to repeat.
I mean, there you go. I mean, he's basically letting you know that Draymond and Green and I's relationship is based on 48 minutes of basketball from here on out, and that's all.
Well, and that's fine. I think, people are, if
I don't care if they're friends.
And people think, I love the, fill in the blank, 2014 Giants. I guarantee you there's guys that were in the parade, maybe even on the same float, that hated each other.
Lincecum and Posey.
There's guys who hate each other. It doesn't always bubble to the surface. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. It's about getting along, professional courtesy, that kind of thing. I mean, these guys don't all love each other. This just in.
But Jordan Poole,
personalities don't mix.
He loves it here, and that's why he's not going anywhere.
Of course, I wanted to get the deal done. I love it here in the Bay. And then just really exciting. Great organization, great group. We won a championship, too. So, it could be pretty crazy to want to go and leave a team that won a championship. We got our guys coming back, and we're excited. We want to do it all over again. And more than excited just to be able to, lock in here, work hard, not only for the organization, but for the fans, the people, for the entire Bay, for Dub Nation. Continue to keep trying to bring rings home.
And look, he was asked, what is it like to go from a guy who almost busts out of the NBA to the point where you're reassigned to the G League only to play yourself back into such good graces that you're a key cog on a championship team, and no one's doubting whether that's a flash in the pan. They think that this is now a repeatable, this is who you are now in this league. And here's what Jordan Poole had to say.
It was amazing. It was truly, truly special, and I couldn't stop smiling. I really tried to stop smiling, but I couldn't. I just couldn't. And just all of the hard work, from really early on in your life, not even basketball career. You go through different stages, high school, AAU, college, and, there'll be adversity. You just got to have faith. have confidence, and self-belief will take you a very long way. Obviously, you mix that in with hard work and an open mindset, and anything is possible. Obviously, people try to write you off, and they'll have things to say. That just comes with it. People will say good things. People will say bad things. It's just their job. Just out there just to give you distractions and make noise. But as soon as you focus and you have tunnel vision, you lock in, and once you set your mind to something and you come up with a plan to do it, everything else will take care of itself. So it's amazing feeling, a special feeling, not only for me, but for my family.
He locked himself in the gym, Larry. He went to work, and look at how much it's paid off. And what I love is you can just hear how soft-spoken he is, yet he is also one of this team's preeminent you-know-what talkers, so much so that he even, bought himself a knuckle sandwich at one point there. So I love Jordan Poole. He's my kind of player, and I expect big things for him continuing to go in the right direction.
If you don't want to be here, you're a lunatic.
Kevin Durant.
Yeah, seriously. If you don't want to be here, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
You're playing in the Taj Mahal. The owner will cut the check. Your coach is Steve Kerr.
Right.
The GM is Bob Myers.
Two of the easiest to get along with cutthroat competitors you'll ever meet in your life.
I mean, Kerr's very likable. Bob Myers might be one of the coolest people I know. The mood in the locker room is set by the best player. It's Steph Curry. I mean, if you want to leave this group with everything they got going, you're playing in front of a fan base that
adores you
and experienced the worst side of the NBA for 50 years. I mean,
right.
40 years. I mean, whatever number of years it's been. I mean, I was too young to appreciate Rick Barry's title in 75. They were bad like forever.
Right.
So now you get
a total one-off.
Yeah. So now you get this fan base that appreciates basketball, appreciates you, appreciates how special this run is. You got Steph, you got Kerr, you got Myers, you got Lakeup. If you want to leave, I seriously, I got
don't let the door hit you on the way out. You must be nuts.
I got some serious questions about you.
And on that note, we will let you know how different sports works in the year 2022 than it did back in the year 2002, because in our final segment of the day, we'll finally get to baseball's postseason. We haven't mentioned it yet. That's on you, baseball. And au revoir, Doyers.
Yes.
Warriors GM Bob Myers with us, 95.7 The Game. Who is your favorite 95.7 The Game host?
Oh, you guys are all great. Come on. You're all great. Guru's, Guru's great too. Don't you love that guy's passion?
Guru too.
Yeah, come on. I mean, you worked. Yeah.
Oh, he's the best. Guru's the Steph Curry.
I mean, the passion it's actually real. Is that manufactured? Is it real?
No, it's real.
It's real. You gotta respect that.
The only place to hear Golden State Warriors basketball.
Yep.
95.7 The Game.
This is your time to cash in at Cash Creek Casino Resort. To rock and to roll. Over the hills and bluffs. Go all out or go all in. With 4 stars and rising stars. Now we do more than ever, so you can do as much or as little as you want. It's your time to cash in at Cash Creek Casino Resort.
Everything, our farm, our stand, our pop-up shop, it really all started when we discovered the benefits of local, raw honey for our family.
And then we decided to turn it into a business.
We were looking for something to help us get up and running.
So we got the Chase Business Complete Banking Account.
It's more than a bank account. It comes with Quick Accept, which lets us take card payments anytime, anywhere in the U.S. using the Chase mobile app. Plus, we get same-day deposits at no extra cost. For us, it's more than honey. It's about sharing a little sweetness with the world.
Get the Chase Business Complete Banking Account with the essentials you need to help get your business going. Learn more at chase.com/business-complete-banking. Chase for Business. Make more of what's yours. Quick Accept is not available in U.S. territories. Enrollment required. Usage subject to approval. Same-day deposits available for payments before 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday to Friday. Fees and rates apply for checking and processing. Limitations and restrictions apply. Participants compensated. Merchant services provided by Payment Tech LLC and WePay Inc. Subsidiaries of J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
For 25 years, Buy Right Market in San Francisco has partnered with purveyors of deliciousness to bring you local food that adds a dash of unique to every meal and celebration. Hi friends, this is Jamie, Buy Right's head of product. And this season, whether you're planning an elaborate meal, watching the game, heading to a friend's, or cozying up for a night in, Buy Right will help you savor what matters most. Pre-order your holiday meals at buyratemarket.com or stop by and discover something unique for yourself. Gather, share, and enjoy with Buy Rate.
If you own a business, this has been a bumpy ride. From pandemic to inflation, I'm sure you could use a break. If your business has 5 or more employees and survived COVID, you may be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's why I founded GetRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. The team of tax attorneys we have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program. We do all the work, charge not a dime up front, and simply share a percentage of the cash that we get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to GetRefunds.com, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. This payroll tax refund is only available for a limited period of time. Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per employee. Go to GetRefunds.com. That's GetRefunds.com.
Elise and Carl's Bakery needed a small business loan fast, but instead of going to On Deck, Carl called
Lone Falcon!
Really? Carl? There's a better way to get a fast small business loan. Go to OnDeck.com. And if approved, get your loan as soon as the same day. Your loan is on deck. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank, a Utah chartered industrial bank, member FDIC. Limited eligibility for same-day funding. OnDeck does not lend in every state. All loans subject to lender approval.
Score big with Xfinity Internet. It's made to do anything, so you can do anything. Supercharge your home with the game-changing speed of supersonic Wi-Fi. With 3 times more bandwidth, it covers the field and then some. And blocks billions of threats with advanced security that helps keep you protected at home and on the go. If you're keeping score, that's internet that does it all. That's unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas.
Finding the right Medicare plan? Oof, no easy feat. Kind of like those dances my granddaughter loves making me do. But then I found Walgreens FindRx coverage. Lets you compare plans online, over the phone, or in person. Made Medicare shopping so easy. Plus, I found plans with low-cost copays. I can get down with that. When you need to talk Medicare, Walgreens is here. Start shopping today at walgreens.com/Medicare.
Kansas City Steak Company, another AmericanEagle.com success story. Started in 1932 as a family-owned butcher shop, today they're a leading distributor of superior all-American steaks delivered right to your door, ready for the grill and your taste buds. When it came to their website, an average site wouldn't do. They chose AmericanEagle.com to take their website to the next level. With a dramatic increase in competition and a softening market demand, they had 2 challenges: improve their brand presence and message, and produce a positive return. AmericanEagle.com got to work and executed usability studies and detailed audits of site experience, digital assets, and marketing. The result? An integrated digital marketing and customer experience plan, organic traffic increase of 20%, and a long-term roadmap for success. If you love great steaks, go to KansasCitySteaks.com for website design, development, and online solutions that bring efficiency and results. Visit AmericanEagle.com. If you need a results-driven website, call the team at AmericanEagle.com at 877-WEBNOW1. That's 877-WEBNOW1.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. After Halloween, your used jack-o'-lantern and other gourds are great additions to any compost pile. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Here's what happened today on The Game. Presented by the County of Santa Clara. The Morning Roast from 6 to 9.
It's hard for me not to look at Kyle Shanahan. He's a guy who gets hailed as one of the best head coaches in all of football, and I just don't see it.
Willard and Dibbs from 9 to noon.
Warriors GM Bob Myers, who is your favorite 95.7 The Game host?
Okay, you guys are all great. Come on, you're all great. Guru's great too.
Steiny and Guru from noon to 3.
I'm proud of you today. You can notice the change. Yeah, you didn't fawn over our guests like you normally do.
And Damon and Ratto from 3 to 6.
Where is the urgency? Where is your hurry up? Where is the no huddle? They huddled 13 times on the final 16 plays of that drive.
Best of the Game, presented by the County of Santa Clara. Book a COVID-19 booster shot now at sccfreevax.org or call 211. Now back to Damon and Ratto, brought to you by BMW Fairfield on 95.7 The Game.
Well, there you go, Krueger. If there was any more evidence that you're home now, baby.
I made the highlight reel?
You even made the montage of all the crap we talked about today. Congratulations.
Wow. Like to thank the Academy.
Seriously.
Like to thank my wife, of course. She's at home. Like to thank my kids, especially my youngest, because without him, I wouldn't have half the knowledge that I have.
I know that your agent's going to want you to thank him.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the great Matt Miller out of Chicago. He's a terrific person, great individual.
Where do you find a guy like that?
You know what? I said, who's representing just the biggest donkeys I can think of? And then, sure enough, it was that guy.
I'm happy to help. Happy to help. By the way, speaking of donkeys, I need Austin Eckler to have myself a 16-point night, and we're sitting 5-1 for 95.7 the league, most competitive fantasy football league in America. So
I lost by less than a point yesterday.
Suck it, Krueger.
God dang.
There you go. But are you in the league?
No, I'm in I'm in a different league, but
so you couldn't hang in our league.
Yeah, well.
Anyway,
couldn't hang in my own league, so there you
go. And by the way, Major League Baseball just can't hang in conversations anymore. It is it's no longer a national sport. It's a provincial sport. If your team is still alive, you're probably way into it. If your city or team is not alive, you probably pulled out of it. But there was certainly something that left Giants fans awfully happy, and there's something that should make A's fans awfully happy going on here too. Number one, the Doyers are out. One of the best baseball seasons you'll ever watch in your entire life. They were truly one of the best baseball teams ever with 111 wins. But I'll tell you, the way that baseball playoffs are played now, Larry, if I am sitting there and I'm at 99, I'm at 100 wins, I know that I punched my ticket to the bye that I'm looking for. I am literally shutting down guys left and right now. All three teams that won over 100 games have been bounced. Goodbye Mets, goodbye Braves, goodbye Dodgers.
It's almost like it's like a special burden. You feel the pressure of 100+ wins. But I'll say this. Did you see the LA Times story where the LA Times was like, hey,
why even have a postseason?
Why have a postseason? It's like we could just, make them the champions.
Yeah.
It was so enjoyable. And by the way, I've never seen it rain like that in San Diego.
No.
I was like, what is going on?
It was like when the Giants were finishing off the Cardinals in 2012.
Yeah, Marco Scudero looking up at the sky as the rain fell. But what a scene. Who do you like? Who do you like, Phils or Pods?
Well, here's the thing. I'm rooting for the fighting Melvins from here on out, man.
Yeah,
I'd love to see it happen for Bob Melvin. I got one guy in Philly that I love in Scherzer, but Schwarber. And outside of that, I really don't care. So definitely, I'm with the fighting Melvins from here on out. And again, that's good news for A's fans. You got someone to pull for this postseason. The fighting Melvins down in San Diego. The ALCS, well, the Astros are in. They're always in the ALCS. Like, it's getting obnoxious. They wake up basically and start their season in the ALCS. They survived an 18-inning game in Seattle, which you put it in the postseason is dramatic as hell and intoxicating. You put it on a Wednesday night in July, you would have left that game in the 13th inning. But it was fantastic drama, and we're waiting on drama, and we might not even get it to start tonight. Guardians and Yankees have not begun this game. They are in a rain delay, and it could be raining so bad in New York tonight that they decide to go ahead and push this game to tomorrow. I mean, it's almost 9 p.m. on the East Coast, so starting this game now would be insane.
By the way, the Astros 6 straight LCSs.
Wow.
That is impressive.
So it's not just me.
I'm thinking this is the year for Dusty. Dusty's been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. I think this is the year. I think this is the year that the Astros get over. I think they'll beat the Guardians or they'll beat the Yankees, and I think they'll beat maybe I'm saying Padres, but either way, Padres or Phillies. I think it's Dusty's year. I think the Astros are the best team.
I would not have Aaron Judge as my number one offseason priority if I were the San Francisco Giants.
Did you see he struck out like 6 times the other day?
It's not even that. I'm going after Trey Turner.
Yeah, that would be nice. Trey Turner would be nice. How about this? Somebody says that the Dodgers may non-tender Cody Bellinger and that the Giants could wind up with Trey Turner and Cody Bellinger.
So Cody Bellinger at the plate is an adventure that's hard to explain. He is a bottom third of your order hitter, and that's just kind of who he is now. Maybe they can fix him. He would be the best defensive center fielder this team had since whom?
Darren Lewis? I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
Marvin Bernard?
No, Marvin Bernard was a circus. No, Darren Lewis, the great D. Lou at Cal Berkeley.
He would be in center field.
Bellinger can go get it.
Oh my God, he would be perfect for the ballpark.
And their hitting coaches will figure out something with his. I think he's salvageable. I don't think he's like doomed to be worse than he is now. He's a young man. He's got somebody who knows baseball should be able to get to him and turn him around. I would think.
He's a competitor.
And that's all you need to know. There it is. So Major League Baseball's postseason crashes the show for 4 minutes at the end of the show, and that's all the time we really have for it. We'll let you know what happens with everything as it does happen. It doesn't look like much is going to happen tonight. I doubt we have an ALCS set up tonight. Yankees and Guardians playing a your win, you go in to the ALCS game, but I don't think this game is going to get off. Thanks so much to Michael Irvin for getting off with us. Another fantastic interview from the playmaker himself. He was wonderful. And stick around because coming up next, it's the Football Hour with Sean Salisbury and Lorenzo Neal. So you're not going to want to go anywhere. And then tomorrow night, we're raising the curtain on an NBA season. And that's going to be an awful lot of fun. I think Ray's going to be back, which means Larry, it's been a pleasure.
Good to see you, man.
Thank you so much for stopping on by and hanging out most of last week, starting this week. Thanks to Lucas. Thank you very much. Grandy, really appreciate it. New guy name. I forgot new guy name. It's Jake was the other new guy. John and Jake. I can probably get it. John, way to go. Chico product. John.
Look at that.
There you go.
Who knew?
I did. He felt a little Chico-ish. I'm not going to lie.
Dying to get to Chico, dying to leave.
Smells of the weed. No, I'm just kidding. No, not at all. No, he's a good guy. He's working hard on his first day.
Look at that.
There it is.
You ever go to Chico? You ever go road trip to Chico? Swim in the Bear Hole?
No, I never have.
Oh, yeah, it's worth going up there.
You know, it's where Mark Davis went to college, and most billionaires send their genius sons to Chico. I heard.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. This was a good one, and we'll be back tomorrow. I believe Ray is back tomorrow. The NBA is back tomorrow. So there you go. Sports don't build character. They reveal it.
And like that,